Hi there, and welcome to Go Bad Games. This is Star Trek Morpheus. Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of Star Trek Morpheus. I'm Pete. In a moment, we'll go around and everyone will say who they are and what they're doing here. But before we do, please don't forget to go and check us out at all our social media links below. Please check out also our Discord. Got lots of people on there talking about maps, games mastering, LARPing, all kinds of things. Also check out our Patreon. We are sharing lots of maps, background information for our games. We've got some stuff that I need to put up for Sam on
Mage game.
On the Mage game, the NPCs from that as well. And I now have done four adventure locations. Here we go. Yes, so they are available for our patrons. You can get those there. And now 10% of all the money given to us through Patreon goes to Diabetes UK. Which is a charity close to our hearts. My nephew George has got type 1 diabetes, and and my sister was telling me about their stuff. You know, I think it's a bit tricky when they're 4 or 5 years old. So it's a really great cause. Even though I know a lot of our viewers aren't in the UK, please go and check that out. We also have a Just Giving page for Diabetes UK. So if you don't want to be a patron, but you want to donate something to help us get to our modest targets, then please go and check that out. There's a link below for that as well. We also have some cool stuff from the Thornless Rose, who are friends of the channel. We have obviously, I keep showing this off, we have our nice dice tray there, which is collapsible. But also, today, I got through a little care package, which is the much fabled D20 dice bag kit, which thanks Adam. Oh, look at that, all of these lovely business cards fell out. Here we go, I can share those, but the big thing is that the D20 dice bag is coming to Kickstarter on the 10th of May. So go and check it out. Go and make sure you support this awesome thing, because what you get is this cool little set with leather triangles, 20 of them, funnily enough. Some leather thongs.
Missed opportunity here for an unboxing video.
We're going to do an unboxing video.
Right, okay, there you go.
And a little scroll which has got your instructions in. Which is pretty darn sweet.
Unboxing to me sounds like something where you start with your fists touching each other and you pull them away really quickly.
Yeah, or like on someone's face, and like in Red Dwarf.
Yes,
backwards. Yes, cracking. I'm not Bulgarian. Anyway, so if you haven't watched Red Dwarf, go and watch Red Dwarf.
The early ones.
After you've watched
Currently
this.
all on Netflix.
Are they? Oh, wicked. Excellent. So go and check out the Thornless Rose. There's links below. Really cool stuff. Really nice people, friends and family of the show, actually. Through the other Sam.
The other Sam one's not me.
Yes.
We do know women that aren't just called Sam. I feel that's an important point to make.
Yes. But
Rose.
just only Sam's on the channel.
Yes.
No, that's not a rule. That'd be a silly rule. Anyway. So that's cool. We're going to be building that. I'm going to give it a go. If I can't do it, then I'll ask someone to help me out with that. But I should be able to handle that. And I'm going to put that in my pictures of my maps. I'm going to have that sitting in the corner when I take my pictures. I think it'd be quite cool. Anyway, other than that, what else do we have? Oh, on Saturdays, depending on when I'm releasing this, Friday or Saturday, or if you're watching this after Saturday, it's in the past. Ooh. I'm doing a live stream with 3 other channels. The Old World Podcast, Jowzam's Den, and Dungeon Musings. And we together are doing a Zweihander one-shot set in my own Black Road setting, which you guys know as 5 Cities, which is available on Drive-Thru-RPG, link below. And that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be kind of a bit horror-y, bit action-y, bit, you know, ooh, what's going on? Yeah, so please go and check that as well. If you're here before Saturday the 4th of May, 9 p.m. GMT +1 or 3 p.m. CST, then you can still watch it, well, live, but if it's after that, then you have to watch it back. Anyway.
Are you running it then?
I am running it.
Yeah,
yes.
that makes sense.
I'm running it in my setting, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I listened, the Onboard podcast, I listened to them, and I actually appeared on their, you don't really appear on a podcast, do you? I appeared on the podcast a little while ago. They're great guys. And Jowzam's Den and Dungeon Musing, I've been watching them for a while, and they do a lot of old school stuff. So Zweihander is very much in their ballpark. So it's very cool. Other than that, I don't think there's any more announcements to make, apart from that I'm having another baby. But anyway, we'll carry on and not get involved with the real world, because this is about the fake world. And we will pass it over to...
Okay. Well, I'm Adam, and I'm playing the universe, the galaxy, all the NPCs, and everything else.
I'm Sam, and I'm playing Dr. Vasha Kren, the ship's chief medical officer.
Hello, I'm Keith, and I'm playing Captain Sorrel Thavayak of the Enterprise G.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm playing Zelvok, the Vulcan commander and security officer.
And I'm Pete, and I'm playing Lieutenant Commander Griotov, the Cardassian science officer.
So, where we'd left it last time, we were on the sort of 20 years later, DS9, Emissary's Testament.
Sorry.
Many things had occurred in that it had been taken over by a bunch of Jem'Hadar. They seem to have planted some sort of technology that's going to do damage to it at some point soon around the place. There was like a few hundred, well, not almost 200 of them, not quite. They did, since there was a number of computer commands which have left the situation whereby
that's putting it nicely.
where there's no one.
Mistakes were made.
All inputs to the Emissary's Testament are currently not working, so no one can control it. Apart from the Enterprise G has like a remote tunnel into it, but only to about half of its systems. Mm-hmm. It's currently automatically force fielding anyone that isn't a Jem'Hadar, but again, half of them have been turned off by the Enterprise G. So half of the people that come aboard or are on board are currently behind force fields. Yes, Zelvok was basically slowly transporting in from Bajor through the Enterprise.
All of the Bajorans.
On James's Testament.
All of Bajor.
And
half of them are getting put in force fields.
to say 2 or 3 at a
Still got weight
time.
at numbers.
Double it up.
The maths is on my side.
Eventually.
Half of them are there
It's
in force
logical.
fields. They're a wall, surely, eventually.
But 2 or 3 at a time is slowly
Next to
beaming
each
in.
other.
Yeah.
Build little force field walls that people can hide behind tactically.
I'm sure many are using their friends as cover.
Brings a whole new meaning to human shield.
If those force fields go down, it's all going to get very crazy.
I was going to say, eventually the station is going to run out of force field generators, all power, and then just like...
Yes.
Or only do you waste up or waste down.
I used the top half. I'm fine. Oh, my leg.
Or you carrying a force field bucket.
Yes. Sorry.
Anyway, so yes, that was kind of what the commands occurred. He did tactically beam in a large number of tactically positioned troops, which we have a trait currently in play for.
Yes.
And they are currently winning against the Jem'Hadar forces, slowly. And but he's just sitting very sensibly, commanding them all from the Enterprise G, which he has moved outside of the sort of shield dome of the Emissary's Testament.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sort of hovering just outside, transporting people in, commanding them and transporting them into various different places. Sitting there while people die.
Drinking a cup of tea.
It's very logical.
Sipping.
It's logical.
Strategically
Yeah,
sipping
it is.
a cup of tea.
Yes, this will do the most damage.
They're just like... and they beam in. Sorry.
Meanwhile, on the various locations on board the station, in the old DS9 ops, which is now a museum, the chief medical officer and her ex-husband and her daughter and a random guide had been sort of taken hostage while some Jem'Hadar applied technology to an EPS conduit.
Badly.
Yeah, applied.
Yes. Use technology on.
Yeah. Use thing on thing. Do not know thing.
No.
And hidden out in Ben's old office.
Yes.
often giving supporting data information to them, open contact with them, everyone else, but mostly yes, sitting there watching and planning. Currently, your daughter is and the guide are currently behind force fields, whereas you and your husband are currently free. On the main actual ops command room of Emissary's Testament, lots of things happened. There was like all the commands were done from there. People ended up in force fields. There were discussions. There were scans of Primus, who's been there and occasionally butting in on the talking. There are still 10 hostages or so, although half of them are behind force fields.
He imitated the captain's voice.
He did
for the commands,
which is what led to the current situation. And then I think there was the force field things. I don't think there was, and then there was scanning, and then there was
sort of monologuing for a bit.
Yes, and then challenged you to Ushan, the ancient Andorian ice pick challenge. And
he shapeshifted into an Andorian.
He did shapeshift into an Andorian.
It's kind of weird, and
a weird, slightly unusual looking Andorian with one antenna off at an angle, and because he's not quite entirely competent at doing the shapeshifty thing. Like
and
I say.
all the intelligence said, for some reason, Jem'Hadar are flocking to his banner recently, and we're like, no way.
Yeah.
Yep. It makes sense now.
You agreed to the Ushantor, and that you'd give up your ship if you lost, and he would go away, I think.
I'll leave peacefully.
If he lost.
Yes, I'll give up my ship.
Yeah. You're probably both...
Zelvok, move the ship away.
The ship is already away.
And it's not coming back. I think you're probably both lying here. I'm just going to go.
Fine.
I wasn't lying.
And we had, importantly, we'd snuck a tracking device into your Ushantor.
Yes.
Ushantor, sorry, which you weren't happy about, but you don't know about. Because we hollowed out with a transporter, so you won't be able to tell from the exterior.
Yes.
But the balance might be off.
He's going to be so cross with you when he
to be like, in case you were about to die, I might beam you out or something.
Yes, so you currently have one tracker which can, locally beam you through the shields that are still covering ops, so no one can beam her out of there. But yes, it's whoever's holding the Ushantor.
To be fair, it doesn't matter which one of us you beam out. Make sure it's the right one into space.
Yes. Yeah, you can hold your breath for a long time, can't you? Oh, you mean the other guy?
You can always resuscitate.
Thanks.
Again, you don't know how much of a change the guy is, how much change things could survive in space, so that would be a very risky choice.
Yeah, but I'd beam him about 500 metres out in front of the Enterprise.
And
Zelvok would just, with his trigger-happy...
All we need to do is just extend the ship around him.
I would recommend not firing photon torpedoes at a target 500 metres in front of a ship.
Phaser him. Phasers. Phasers.
I would have thought Zelvok...
He's the captain, I'm worried.
I would have thought Zelvok will transport him to the brig because he's a criminal.
I was going to say, I don't think phasing would...
I've met Zelvok, have you?
Yes.
I've got a holographic ship. I can create a brig around him.
That's true.
You can.
That's true. I like it.
Just on its own in space.
Why not?
With just a really long rope on it. And then you drag him behind the ship.
I was going to say.
And it's just rattling around inside.
What's that keel equivalent of keel hole?
Yeah.
It would only stay there, like I say, when you were nearby, because if you floated... Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think when he changed, he changed into having also a centaur in his hand when he changed.
His hand turned into
So
one.
so he's probably not going to be. It's going to be hard to swap it because it's part of him.
I more assumed you could stick his in him.
Oh yeah, that would too. But if you stuck it into him, you've already won half the battle in many ways.
and for the viewers,
yes,
and listeners on the podcast or on YouTube, our threat level
is at 12 currently.
And our momentum
is at 3.
6?
3. 6. I made a note, it's 3.
Give me 6.
Yes, that's because that's how many you can have in total.
I like your thinking there, Keith. That was like nearly cleverly done. Yeah.
The most it can ever be is 6. That's why
I know.
6.
That's why I had 6.
We can always go back and check the videos.
Yeah, we can.
That is true.
I might have made that wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 3. I don't remember it being 6.
No, I think it's 3.
And you have 2 determination.
And I have none.
Oh, no determination left. Can't be bothered.
I've used mine.
Yes.
In life, general.
Oh yeah. School gone.
So, a little reminder on combat rules while you're sort of
Yes, that would be very helpful. Thank you.
while you.
Do you want some special Star Trek combat dice, or have you got those? You've got those, haven't you?
Yeah, I
The damagey ones.
the speckle ones.
Oh.
These ones.
They're the special ones
Ah,
because they have different patterns on them.
Yes, indeed, they do. So yes, while you're being, because if you remember the Ocean Tour, is you've got this big metal gauntlet thing that's strapped on one arm, and then it's strapped to another one with like a big metal cord.
Yep.
So you're always within range, and you can't go very far away from each other.
Yeah.
But and you've got the sort of the round sort of clave sort of dagger, but with a punch dagger with a handle and the middle thing with serrated edge.
Which is
On the other
clearly
hand-
not an ice pick, but looks cool for punching people in the
well,
face.
they used to just have a couple of spikes, but spiking,
Yeah.
climbing. But
Yeah.
then they've evolved into combat weapons rather than ice picks.
Yeah,
Because they've got phasers now.
that's true. Phasers. Right,
Yes,
yeah.
climbing phases.
Just melt a handhold, don't you? Hang on.
Why don't I get some of the... I should just
It's
get
like a
some...
head torch.
Andorian ice cliff climbing is like really weird.
And there's always a Vulcan that just flies past taunting.
Yeah.
Reinforce them.
Anyway, so combat rules, as you might expect, are as they always are. A little bit more complicated than other rules. So they still involve rolling a number of d20s, the default 2, underneath an attribute plus a discipline.
Yep.
Security.
Security, probably.
Yes, normally melee attacks are daring plus security.
Before we begin, sorry, can we change points around?
If you want.
Oh no, it's not between missions, is it? Sorry.
Well,
Sorry,
I'd
go on.
be happy if you had a good reason
No,
to do
don't
between
worry.
sessions, but I
You
don't.
might die if we don't. Yeah, no.
To be fair, I might doubt if we do. So.
Yeah, so fair enough.
That's right. We can always ask for a new captain.
Yeah. We definitely have to ask for
Commander
it.
Zolvok, everyone.
I mean, there's billions.
I don't
of
want
people
a
in the there's billions of people in the staff in the Federation.
Exactly.
Well, some of them are in Starfleet. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
Um,
We've certainly got the numbers.
Probably be played by Keith, I suspect. But
anyway, so yes, it still involves those. It is in rounds. Normally, if there's many characters involved,
I'm
there'll
sure
probably
I've got a brother somewhere.
only been 2 involved in this situation.
Also avenge your death.
Normally, there's only 2 involved in this situation, so it won't matter too much. But normally, the way it works is that sort of we choose who goes first. Normally, it's the players or whoever it makes most sense, and then one of you guys will go, and then I go. One of my characters goes, then one of your characters goes. But you choose who goes next, basically. That kind of way of initiativing. There'll only be 2 here, so it'll probably be you and me. You get one task, which is one sort of hitty thing or doing other thing, as you expect, and a minor action, which is sort of moving or getting up or falling over, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm
I'm going to fall over for my move action.
basically. Does it say what the minor actions are in here? Yes, aim. You can also aim. That's an important one because you can even aim with ice picks because so you can't, which means you can reroll a single d20 made on an attack. You can draw an item. You can drop prone. You can interact. You can movement. You can pair. You can stand. You get one of those minor actions per round. You can spend a momentum, or I could spend a threat to get as many more as you want of those. So you can you can fall over and stand up as many times as you have momentum for.
Like a point? Or is it the escalating cumulative cost?
No, it's not cumulative. It's like each one's a point. So
Okay.
if you want to fall over, that's free.
Yep.
And then if you want to stand up again,
Double neck chop. Or double-handed fist punch to the back.
Oh, no.
Well,
Flying
that's-
through for the kick.
that's actual,
yeah.
that's actual tasks. That's actually attacking and doing things. These are the minor actions. They're just one extra momentum for each one of those. They're like the aiming, the drawing items.
Oh,
the
okay,
small
sorry,
things.
gotcha.
Main tasks, normally you only get one of. You can spend 2 momentum to get another one, but it's one more difficult.
Okay.
Or you can spend a determination to get another one, and again, that's a normal difficulty at that point. But that's as many as you get. You can have more than 2 tasks in a round for only one
Okay.
character. No matter the different ways you can get it. You can also get directed by your commanding officer, but you don't have one.
Unless the Admiral pops up.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
get the other learner who can tell me to hit him again. Yeah, only players. But if someone else is fighting, you could possibly from the show lines go and hit him again. You can do it, or something like that.
Yes, Captain!
Exactly. Although again, in a situation where it's just these 2, it doesn't make as much sense. But it is one of the things you can direct. The other things you can do is you can help someone else. You can create an advantage, which is one of these many different traits. That's going to be a difficulty 2. And again, it's a task, because it's one of the things that takes up the main part of the round, but it's a role. You can guard, so try to defend yourself. You can try to recover. I'll get into that in a minute. Or you can try to go far distances. Or you can do first aid, which someone else might be doing later.
Sooner than you think.
Here is a combat reference sheet, because I know most of it.
I before you guys have a fight, I would have a question or two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a student of war.
Yes.
Yeah, so I have conducted extensive research into also the Jem'Hadar and their fighting tactics. And I know he's not really an Andorian, so he's not going to fight like an Andorian. Before they have their fight, is there a way that I can lend assistance in maybe like his first go by saying, "Oh, the scans show he's weaker there, and remember, Jem'Hadar always do. They always lean to the left, or or whatever.
Sure.
They're mostly left-handed, or something,
Sure. I mean, so yeah, but you can give assistance.
But what?
Yeah.
But what the Jem'Hadar don't know is I am also mostly left-handed.
I guess you could. It'd probably make more sense to try to make an advantage, like a trait, by pointing out something that's weak on him.
Okay.
So that'd be more like a difficulty 2 thing you do by yourself.
Like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll do that.
That makes more sense.
I think maybe more of like a structural, like something to do with his body.
Yeah.
That may be like a weakness.
Yeah.
Or a frailty.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Roll and have a look for that.
So what do I roll for that?
As Peter's
Reason
now doing
and
this,
security?
More
Insight and security?
Yeah, probably more insight. And good security or medical will probably both work.
as Peter's now doing this as its
Yes.
own action, could I help Pete?
Yes.
Because I assessed all the medical scans
Yes.
and answered them, sent them back.
Please help me.
So I roll 1 dice, don't I?
Yes.
But
Yes.
I'm presumably rolling on something like reason and medicine or
Yes.
insight and medicine.
Either would be fine.
So insight and security.
Or insight medicine, but yeah.
Security's better.
Do I do special helpings if I get one of those?
Special helpings.
You get as many successes as you did
Yeah.
get, as it were.
So that's
I need
2.
to get any for you to help me.
Yes,
Yeah, true.
indeed.
And I haven't.
Ah.
Can I use how do I re-roll? Can I use...
Rerolls, unless you have a talent or something that does it.
Or momentum?
Momentum, I don't think does it. I got that wrong. I thought momentum did rerolls, but and I checked it and no, you don't.
Okay,
I'm afraid.
fine.
So your determination.
So
you
I-
must spend your determination, which you don't have.
Yeah. So I sort of step up to the captain and just say, "Good luck."
Thank you, Mr. Turbo. Don't die.
I'm sorry. I was hoping there was some insight I could give you, but it's his body is difficult to scan effectively
Well,
in
also
such a
it
short
was
period
soup.
of time.
I'll keep at it.
It was also soup when I did my scan.
It was soup.
There's bits turning
Yeah.
into changing, there's bits turning into blood, there's other bits being confused and trying to be other organs.
There's
It's not good, is it?
croutons and everything.
Right. It's not
I was
good
gonna say,
enough.
There's got to be some lentils.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
not. To be fair, I wouldn't rule that out.
Yeah,
There's all sorts of crap in there.
there is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You can also use momentum to reroll any damage dice, but not main actual task.
Yeah.
Momentum to reroll damage dice.
Yeah.
This is important.
It
There-
is
there's also-
important.
on the back of the conflict thing,
For
there's also
you.
a bunch of examples of things you can spend momentum on the other side of the sheet.
You might want to read them rather than just show them to the camera. It's really good that you're showing them to the camera.
But, no,
Can I just say these are really cool.
Yeah.
And these are in the special in the screen, aren't they?
Well, I bought like a big pack that
Oh,
had
okay.
loads of different things in, and I think
Okay.
they come with the GM screen now. I
Okay.
think. Like if you
And
bought the
these are
GM screen
like
by themselves. I
Rule
think.
summary and like each of the. I mean, we showed them off before, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
And
I've
most people
got,
are probably
I've got a
got the-
commanding officer reference.
Yeah.
communications and
And it's handy because you've got the roles of the main cast
Yeah.
of the show.
Well, it's the main things
Sensors
that especially in
rules.
yes, flying spaceship combat.
Yeah.
There's lots of extra bits
And
in
they're
there.
cool, the
Yeah,
LCARS display, much like our overlay is,
What does I and R mean?
I means immediate, which means you can spend it outside of when you've succeeded on a task. R means repeatable, so you can do it more than once.
Ooh.
So I can create
You've
an
read the
opportunity,
rules.
create a problem, obtain information, create an advantage, keep the initiative, an extra minor action, bonus damage,
Yes.
disarm, penetration, reroll damage, secondary target, in case I
Once
hit
it's down with
someone
the
else.
crowd.
really near the other Jem'Hadar that you just like. yeah. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
I just keep going until I've run out of other Jem'Hadar.
Yeah, this isn't. You're not Worf.
Or a swift
I love that. that
task.
bit in
The character may attempt one additional task.
Yes.
Oh. Punch him in the face again.
I believe that would be the extra minor action.
No.
Punching in faces is
Extra minor action is like
a big task.
pull a weapon.
Yeah, minor tasks are, again, they're on there, but they're mostly on the other side. But they're like say standing up, using a weapon, aiming. Aiming might be useful. It's percentage D20, or you can re-roll an extra one.
Ooh. Okay, cool.
I don't need a combat reference. I have this, which I think has all that stuff on it. Somewhere.
I thought you were just going to be like, I don't need a combat reference. I know all the rules.
I do remember most of them, but
Okay.
they're a bit niche on some occasions. Anyway, not randomly going on the camera.
So who goes first?
So yeah, you're all chained up. He's come over and gone. Good luck.
Have you? I assume you've taken your shirt off. Or is that like halfway through? It's just like,
Well, I imagine I've taken the jacket off. I've still got the top.
yeah,
Because it has to tear.
absolutely.
I was going to say you've taken the grey and black. Yeah, thing.
It's got the small
Jacket,
perforation
yeah.
lines in it though, so it's ready to tear. Captain's standard issue.
Yeah, the replicator won't make other ones if it's for the captain.
Yeah. God, can't you just make me a sort? No.
You're going to say, it's like, crewman, I need to borrow your shirt. Put it on. You just watch this line.
What?
Anyway, so you're there. You're chained up across from this weird-looking Andorian version of Primus. You're opposite. You're across the. I have a map here. I'm going to be. So this is the main ops area. It's a big square thing. There's sort of a crowd, Jem'Hadar, and like most of the other people have been sort of forced over to this.
Oh, those squares of Jem'Hadar, are they?
No. They're consoles.
Okay.
Can I show? Do you mind if I show it to a camera?
No. They'll make as much sense as anyone else can. Yeah. My beautiful. This is not by Pete. He's good at these.
So this is the chair in the middle.
Yes, the chair in the middle of the ops. Yeah.
And then we've got like stations around the outside.
Indeed. Yes.
And then chairs and things around the outside and people watching.
Yep.
And then you've got big viewing screen, big viewing screen, big viewing screen, big view screen.
Yep.
Ready room, turbo lift, lots of stations around,
Yep.
turbo lifts and a briefing room.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes.
I have taken a picture of the setup at the beginning, which I'll share. So you guys can see, the directives, the maps, and all that kind of stuff as well.
So yeah, like I say, the captain's chair is in like a little pit that goes down, and there's a few stairs that go up and down into it, and there's some viewing screens in the gaps between, on sort of an angle, sort of raised slightly an angle. They're not very big, but they've got a lot of display information. Obviously, it looks a bit bare, but you're sort of chained over this captain's chair with its sort of little consoles on the side of it.
Cool.
Because that's what you suggested before, and you agreed. Who goes first? It would normally the players it says defaults to, so we'll go with you going first.
Well then, Mr. Primus, are you prepared to begin?
Yes.
Very well.
Ashantor!
Of course you shout it out at the beginning.
Not a thing. That's not Andorian.
You should have watched that episode of Enterprise.
I have.
Oh yeah, but he does that. But he does that.
Does he?
No. Does
You're saying
Primus do
does
that?
Yes.
He goes, "Ooh, Chantor."
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I'm going to be like, "Yeah, this is wicked."
That's not Andorian custom at all. That's just him.
All right then. I'm going to try and put all my weight onto the chain and go down using the chair as sort of a pivot on it, so that I go down and it drags across, pulling him forward onto the chair. So he's going to go chair face.
Fair enough.
Because I can't pick the chair up and hit it with it. I can hit him.
It is attached to the floor.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit the chair with him.
Yes. Yeah. Bring him to the chair.
Another point I should mention is if you're attempting to do a lethal attack, it costs you a point of momentum, or adds to my threat.
Because we're Starfleet officers.
Same for me as well.
Okay.
If he wants to do a lethal attack, as far as I can tell,
Then
it
we
also
get a
costs-
point.
No, I have to spend threats.
Oh, you have to spend threats.
Yeah, no, I can never add to momentum. I can only spend threats. So if I run out of threats, he can no longer lethally attack you, which is interesting. But true.
So he's only got 12 goes.
All I've got to do is survive for 12 lethal attacks and I'll be fine.
I believe in you.
And your medical officer
Captain,
is
my captain.
shut somewhere else in the ship.
I'm standing on another chair somewhere saying, "Captain, my captain."
I'm ignoring him.
The Jem'Hadar
You might not get the references, Andor.
I'm not. And I've never seen that film.
I doubt
That's
the
it.
Cardassians have
Cardassians.
seen that film.
Saying that Cardassians are supposed to be really into their poetry, aren't they?
Yeah, but Dead Poets Society
It's
in
probably not
Cardassia
on
is
the-
something completely different.
Hands up if you haven't killed a poet yet. Right, come on, let's go find one.
Come on. We could track them because we removed their teeth and put tracking devices in them. Anyway.
Right, so I'm guessing this is essentially creating an advantage rather than an attack.
Well, what are you trying to do mainly? Are you trying to...
Put him entirely off balance.
Yeah, sure. That sounds like an
And
advantage.
if he happens to fail and hit his head on the chair, then yay.
You could probably spend momentum to do damage, or that wouldn't be much. I will say, just out of the belly, the Jem'Hadar, because they have immunity to pain, mean that they're very resistant to non-lethal attacks.
Ah.
And we'll get to resistance to damage in a
But
minute.
he's currently not a Jem'Hadar.
But he probably has the trait Jem'Hadar.
Well, it's actually a talent that's immune to pain.
Oh, is it? Okay.
She probably still has.
Yeah. He's crazy.
So as much as I try to batter him and do all that, it's not going to work on the end to actually stab the guy.
No, if you put him off balance, that will help you in later
It'll just be
attacks.
harder.
That's true.
Anyway,
Right.
this is creating an advantage of moving off balance, which is fine, and there's nothing to do with that particularly.
Okay, so it's 2 dice. I'm
Indeed.
rolling on daring and security.
Yes.
Does combat tactics come into this?
Yes. It's a
Good.
valid focus, I would say.
So
On this particular one.
Because you're in combat.
So I would get 3 advantages if I rolled a 1, but I don't because I'm only allowed 2, which is stupid.
It extends the range within which you get to.
Yeah, so
From 1 up to your...
1.
one, because
Discipline.
the security is 1.
Oh, it's security. Oh, right, okay, well... That's your fault. How is your security lower than mine? I'm the science officer.
It's lower than mine.
Oh, jeez.
I'm the captain. I have people for that.
You're an Endorian.
And remember, you do have a talent that's relevant to Shentor as well, I think. I don't remember exactly what it is.
Yes, the Yoshan.
You do have like a
A
talent.
piece of paper. It tells me what I can do.
It does have. You do have talent side.
I am experienced in this tradition.
Yes.
Having spilt my blood, when I make a melee attack or are targeted by a melee attack, and buy 1 or more d20s by adding to threat, I may reroll the dice pool for a task. Further, I have this thing that I'm attacking the guy with,
Yes.
and it does these things.
I can tell you how much damage it does.
Is there any way he can fail so badly that he just ends up impaling himself?
Yeah. I mean, if that's like a 20, then that's a complication which could be. Yeah, I get stabbed.
So,
Not,
right,
not,
let's put him to the chair, and I headbutt the chair myself.
Bounce off
Yeah.
the chair and I think...
indeed, if you roll any 20s, it can add a complication which could be that kind of thing.
Do you get a complication per d20?
Yeah. If he hits a 20, yeah.
Amazing.
I love the way you're rooting for him to really fuck up.
I just love also how I'm basically getting this as audio only com.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, that
Maybe there should be a...
that
Oh,
was
that
a-
sounded like a hurt.
that sounded.
And you could just
yeah.
hear Griot in the background going... Da, 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 da. Surely one of the
Yeah, no,
Jem'Hadars
that-
turned on the music.
Yeah, that sounds like ribs. Definitely sounds
Remember, you
like
can
ribs.
buy extra dice or not buy extra dice if you want it. Will
Not
be
yet,
opposed.
not yet. Because what will happen is he's going to beat me quite a lot at the beginning, but then I'm going to make this heroic comeback.
Good, good.
By dumping both of these and all 3 of them into
I
one
think
attack.
I think Dan should roll for Primus.
No.
I feel really
That
bad if I killed it. Oh, no, wait, it wouldn't.
Okay, this will be opposed.
Give me this.
Okay,
He
so
will be opposing it, unsurprisingly.
I believe that's 1.
It certainly looks like one.
It's
So
1.
you get to start using these red things, is that?
If I want to.
Okay.
I
That is
feel the
enjoying
need.
Fatima.
So at the end of this episode, we've got no captain and no ship.
But the
And it
reputation
turns into a series on Emissary's Testament. Deep Space Nine 2.
No, like a tiny
Just basically-
Defiant class trying to get the ship back.
They're not getting the ship.
I
They're
know
not getting the ship.
No, they're not.
I know, but they're just going to kill me instead.
I've
Have
also
another
got
station up.
Yeah,
Could
that's-
build another space station.
It's harder than you think, apparently.
Okay, so did you
I
get?
think you're
How many
not.
successes did you get?
1.
Okay.
You're very pleased about that.
I am. How many successes do you get?
Let me look. So this
5.
Yeah,
No.
plus security. No, just 2.
Okay.
Because I got 15 and a 3, and his security is not 1.
But does he have a relevant focus?
What do you mean, hand to hand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Surely
okay,
you
it's
got
okay
4
though.
then,
You've got
sorry?
high fitness,
You get
therefore
4.
having a high
No,
stress
15
level,
and a
right?
3, but his
Oh,
things are
you're
quite
up
high
to
now.
us. Okay.
Yeah. In the end, we rolled 2 dice.
Okay.
So he got 2.
I am the underdog in all things here.
Mine's 9.
The only thing I'm doing better than him right now is losing.
He's a really good captain.
He is.
But doing what? Anyway,
Not
sorry.
leading from the front.
Not hand-to-hand fighting.
Not, yeah.
Melee
Anyway, sorry.
fighting.
So I'm going to say that, yes, you kind of try to pull him in there, and he kind of rolls over the chair at you and sort of kicks into you, knocking you to the ground.
Oh. I can see you've done this before.
Jem'Hadar are like,
There you go. See, no, he's got it. Whippy quip.
Bit of back and forth banter.
Yep.
So you're now prone, but you can get up with your minor action if you'd like.
What else can I do with my minor action?
It's against on the... It's on
Duck
the
and
bottom
cover.
left of that sheet.
You know, you want to do one of those moments where you kind of stand up.
I can drop prone.
You,
You already are
you're already chief prone, yeah.
Well done, Keith.
On the upside, if the Jem'Hadar are getting really into it, does that mean Pete can start to edge towards the door?
I am edging.
Hang on.
That's
I can
fun.
interact with an object in the environment. I want to kick the captain's chair, make it spin round so the back hits him.
That'd be more of a task.
Oh.
As it says, particularly
Non-aggressive
complex
things.
interactions may require a task instead. That's particularly complex, I would say. Well, if you want to do anything
You
other than
could
just
like
bounce off...
press a button
Or stand up.
or stand up.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, rather than
stand
lying
up.
prone in front of the Jem'Hadar warrior.
Because if you are prone, he does
So who's called
advantages for the
Primus
attacking.
for a reason.
I'm going to stand up. Probably with a backflip.
I'm just like, we're gonna have to beam him out. Like, with a backflip. Fuck off. What's your daring?
No, give
Fair
him
enough.
one.
Oh, okay.
What's your
Yeah. A kip up.
Yeah.
One of those where you go.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I assume you had a kick up, not a backflip, because that would be... Yeah. That would be
Yeah,
confusing.
well, sort of, or, backwards roll onto my feet.
Okay, I like that one. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do that and we'll do this. Okay.
I like it when Adam says, "Yeah, we'll do this."
I'm just deciding what...
No, I know. There's like a
what we're
little
going to try to
inner
do.
Adam conversation going on. It's like,
So he goes into... It looks like he's going to hack at you.
Right.
So this is a opposed melee attack.
Okay.
this is where you
I was
talk.
going to say, he looks like that, right.
Yeah.
That's
So,
why
so he's standing there ready to do this, I'm like, right. Uh-huh.
So he's going to aim first, and then he's going to attack. Basically, it's non-lethal for now, but it's down close security with a quick one post.
Oh my days! I think you're all right.
He got one success. How many did you get?
None.
You didn't roll a 20.
No. One was 19. I was one out on a success.
Good job. There's not a complication.
I'm lulling him into a false sense of security.
Yes.
You're doing a really good job of it.
Such a false sense of security.
Yeah. I'm covering my eyes.
I am waiting for you guys to do like the heroic crew thing and save me here.
Well,
We've got to wait for this round because I want to do something in the room, but I
also
don't want
that
to
does
like.
require Adam to cut away to us, really.
Yeah.
So we can't
That's
do
I
it.
thought we get to stay
We
round.
are.
Yeah.
No. Hold on. Your orders were that you wanted to do this.
Yeah, that's true. So we're just watching.
We're
He
in
died a rather silly death.
we're in completely the wrong places. Did you realise this?
I'm not.
How many
I'm there.
crews of
Oh,
the
yeah.
Enterprise?
I
has that
should be
ever
on the
spot?
Enterprise,
Well-
and he should be here.
He should be there.
Yeah.
Did offer.
I am the medic and I should also be there.
Yes.
And you two should be somewhere else.
That's very true.
Either on the Enterprise or with an old Cardassian engineer.
So he basically was doing for
We're in the wrong places.
he looked like he was trying to basically disarm you. So he locks with your similar Ushantor, and then you're both doing like this, and he tries to knock it out of your hand, but he just knocks it to the side. So for that, I think still basically counts as that. So yeah, he'll just get them. Yeah, okay. So he'll do damage but it'll be non-lethal damage.
Yes, damage.
How do you
work?
record that?
Stress.
So let's do damage first. Yes, basically, mostly stress and then other things. But there's crashes on here, isn't it? So his security is that.
Stress
Does
until you
that.
can't
Right.
stress no more.
So when someone does damage, we roll these other dice.
Yes.
and they have other symbols on them. So, so these dice, as a refresher, I might probably mention this age ago, then they really come apart from the fights. So they've got stars on them. They have 1 star, or 2 stars, or no star sides, and then they also have a chevron.
Two chevrons.
Well, yes, but only one on a side, as it were.
Okay.
A chevron it counts as 1, but it also counts as an effect, which different weapons do have different things. This one has vicious, I believe.
Yep.
Ooh, vicious. Because it's kind of got like a serrated edge, isn't it?
It's got pointy bits.
My unarmed attack does vicious damage.
Indeed, that's because you've got talent that does that.
Because you've got pointy bits.
And what that does, it means that for each one of these rolls, as well as counting for 1, it counts for 1 extra one as well.
Ain't my ears, mate.
Broken pea.
Oh man! No wonder it's only once every 7 years.
What you mean into the term Lance?
So, damage-wise. So, because it's vicious, each one of these ones isn't just 1; it's 2 basically. Because it's got vicious 1. So he's done. So that's 6, 8 damage. So what that means?
What do they do again?
Your stress boxes.
Don't
you have
my stress box?
I have 11.
So
I have
How many do you have?
12.
I assume
How
you
many
don't,
do you have?
9.
9?
I assume
Why are
you
you captain?
I assume you don't have any
Really good at
resistance.
Coal.
Resistance is a value which is kind of like armor, basically. It would lower that number by that amount. For instance, if this was done to him, he has innate resistance of 2 because of weird changeling things, and also the immune to pain against non-lethal things would mean to have another resistance of 3. So he would resist 5 of that damage.
Jeez!
Against non-lethal.
You are dead!
Against non-lethal damage.
Joking aside, can you transport and swap places?
But if you don't have a resistance, that means
That
you'd be
wasn't
taking...
my orders.
So what happens now is you cross off 8 of those stress
Captain was
boxes.
wrong.
Uh-huh.
Also, because you've taken a certain amount, you also get injuries in certain circumstances. When you run out of stress boxes, you get injured. If you take damage when you run out of stress boxes, you get injured. And if you take more than 5 damage, you're also injured.
Okay.
So I'm injured for taking more than 5.
So because you've taken more 5 damage, you'll have taken a non-lethal injury. Unless... this is the other thing you can do, which will have knocked you unconscious, basically. Because you're incapacitated as soon as you take any injuries. Unless, and you can, once per scene, you can avoid an injury. And the way you can do that is you can spend 2 momentum, or add 2 to threat, or take a complication. And all of those mean that you avoid the injury.
Point of determination.
Oh, or a point of determination. Does that do that as well?
A character may spend a point of determination to ignore the effects of an injury
So
for the
no,
remainder
what
of the
injury is
scene.
going?
That's a different thing. But yeah, this is avoiding an injury. It's a different thing.
Oh, okay.
So is
not
this
having it at
injury
all.
going to render me unconscious regardless?
And not if you avoid it. If you avoid the injury, it won't. Then you will not have taken the injury.
But any injury renders you unconscious.
Avoid
Yes.
injury. Yes.
Incapacitated, yes.
You may only avoid an injury once per scene.
Indeed. You can have recover that by using a task in a round to recover, and it comes back again.
Ah, yes.
Can I do that while I'm unconscious?
Like catch your breath.
No. However, if you are unconscious, you can spend a point of determination to get up and continue to function. However, that injury still remains on you. That's the only way to really persist. Unless someone does first aid on you, they can also do it. But yeah, there are ways of continuing to act after being.
I'm going to
incapacitated.
spend 2 momentum to ignore that injury.
Right.
You could also suffer a complication to
Indeed.
avoid an injury, like
Being
busted
dead.
ankle.
Well, more yes, twisted wrist, but because he just kind of
yeah,
yanked him
yeah.
away.
Yeah, sorry. Kind of, I was giving just a generic.
Yeah.
What kind of madman is this?
Okay, so you've avoided injury. You can't do that again for the scene unless you take the recover action, the task.
We try and catch a breather.
Yeah.
Dance around
No,
for a
but
bit.
it's
Exactly.
fine, because if he hits me again, I'll probably die.
I don't think you die automatically when you run out of stress.
No.
So yes,
It's not like that.
It's not health.
no. Normally, unless you could be very unlucky, you could die in one hit, but yeah, probably not. You'd probably be injured and then you die at the end of the scene unless someone did first aid to you. That tends to be how it works.
Okay.
Hey, I'm learning the system too.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's good.
I know
good
how it
to,
works, but I don't know how it works out, as it were.
It's good to play through the.
Fine, if only my
combat,
first officer
the
had
close
stuck
combat.
around.
You know.
First,
He was getting
First
drunk
officers-
on Bejor.
first officer is obeying orders.
So he changes the side and
If I survive, I'm replacing you.
That's fine. I retired to Basel.
I'm already in orbit.
You're thrown to the side and you stumble and you just stop yourself in time from sort of whacking your head really hard against the stairway banister, which would have rendered you unconscious. Whoa! And then he pulls you back into the fight.
Right, I'm going to use that pulling back into the fight as my momentum to charge the button.
Does anyone else want to do anything since the end of that round?
While this initial skillful tussle is going on, and I'm trying not to wince out loud.
He has a plan.
Yeah,
I'm sure he has the whole thing
full sense of
under
security.
control.
Yeah, he's just working out. He's working out.
Hopefully, because Primus is clearly kicking his butt,
Yes.
the Jem'Hadar are quite enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try and quietly, just slowly step. I don't want to leave the area, but I want to move to the back of the area.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to try and access a panel. We have to do something to try and get the systems working. I don't know what's going on.
Yes.
I'm gonna. Oh no! Did I know that everything was screwed and we couldn't do anything about it?
What do you mean?
What?
Everything was locked out, wasn't it? And I know that.
Yep.
Okay. So all we've got is my scientific tricorder, my comm badge. No, that's over there. Oh no, we've got the comm badge.
No, I haven't got a comm badge. You've got a comm badge.
They gave one back, didn't
They
they?
gave one back. Got comm badge, scientific tricorder.
And you've got communications with the Enterprise anyway, but yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna say under my breath, Enterprise. Captain seems not to be faring too well. Please maintain a transporter lock to engage at my signal.
Isn't there a shield in the way?
No, but you remember, that's why you put the thing in his...
Tracker.
You put, the thing that you thought would be... Yeah, that would allow you to beam him out.
It's like a special isotope that's non-lethal, non-dangerous. It's not dangerous.
This is why he's fighting so bad. He's very dangerous.
It's easily detected on...
It's clearly because I'm off balance because someone drilled a hole in this.
Is there any way that...
I didn't drill a hole in it.
Are we watching this on the monitor or anything?
No, I think you only had audio.
Okay.
Haven't I got a weapon now?
Yep.
I got a Type 1
There was an argument. I can't remember which way it went in the end.
We kept the security guys in the lift.
Yes.
But I've got a phaser.
Oh yeah. You brought
my
the sneaky
pocket.
on board that I can be able to check you for. Yes.
Yeah.
The Type -3 phaser. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, -2. I like it. How easy are those to overload and use as a distraction?
All evidence would suggest quite easy. It would definitely be a roll, but
Well, what I'll do is I'll take my comm badge off very carefully and remove that really handy little piece of wire that's inside it that they always pull out.
Mm-hmm.
And I will just in the sleeve of because the Type 1 phaser is quite small, in the sleeve of my uniform, I will try to do it by touch alone. So I'm not drawing any attention to myself. Because if I sit there and do this, they'll be like, what are you doing?
Even a Jem'Hadar is going to work
Yeah,
out.
so if I do it in my sleeves like this, I'm going to try and just...
Blow his own hand off.
Hey,
It'll distract
well,
them.
just after you have your head severed from your body, you know...
God,
then-
that's when it explodes.
Yeah. It's quite a distraction.
Yeah. So you have Zelda with Frank.
What I want to do is I want to set it so that I can like the fire button becomes a set the very short timer button.
oh, so short time, not just
throw. Yeah, no.
You're making a photon grenade.
yeah
Yes,
A mini,
basically
yes.
a mini one.
in your sleeve.
That,
By
in,
touch.
in my sleeve by touch. Hey, I'm like
Okay, so
a genius.
I switched to threat there because just after you'd had that conversation and while you're doing this, there is a warning: main generator overheating.
You would have
Warning,
heard that.
station
You would
generator
have heard that through
Power.
the comm line.
unstable.
I can't do anything about that.
I did have a vague
That's
plan,
good of
but
all
as I
the
said,
force fields.
it needs to vaguely be...
And possibly some of the
Vaguely
fires.
what?
Are you doing Pete's roll or are you doing my plan?
No, Pete's well.
No, Pete's roll.
Right.
Just saying,
I
because
thought you
I,
just-
Yeah.
well, no, but I have had, I have a plan for things I wanted to have been doing
cool.
about that.
Sure.
So.
Cool. Probably still announce it. Right, so...
I'm going to say difficulty. Let's be kind and say 2.
Okay.
It's probably engineering, maybe security. That's the key to one of those.
Engineering. And reason? Or control?
I think more control or daring, I'd say. I don't think reason at this point. It's more the fiddling and doing in your sleeve.
Tight, small. Okay, control. Because it's like
it's more fiddling, so it can be control. It's also rather risky, so daring would also work.
I'll go control. And engineering?
I'm wondering if I can order him to stop.
I don't know if you have relevant focus.
Composure.
I mean, I have like a...
Like to not shit
Possibly
myself while doing this very risky thing,
sure.
and just like
More successes.
I'm like in the zone.
Sure.
I'm freaking out. Come on.
Okay, so I got 2 successes.
No, I told you.
Yeah, then you did it. Good.
Cool.
It's set up.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a small photonic grenade.
He is deeply unstable.
Hold ups.
Yes. So the plan is roughly, yes, there are multiple of these devices around the station, which I can't do much about because it's me, 3 science officer, 2 civilians, and a bunch of Jem'Hadar,
Yes.
and I haven't got any weapons. But I definitely have my tricorder. Any hope the X has got a science tricorder with him? Or probably not.
He's carrying a data pad with pulsar data
He is
on.
carrying a data
like
pad with
very
pulsar on
specific
it.
pulsar data. I think I wrote down his equipment on his character
Data
sheet.
pad with pulsar data.
Yep.
It's like his favourite bedtime story.
Pad with pulsar data. Yep, that's it.
He was going to show you his latest findings.
That's fine. That's fine. It's a lovely pulsar.
Look, we found
romantic.
it.
It's a lovely pulsar.
But I suspect he wouldn't have a tricorder because he was just wandering around the
No,
station.
okay, fair enough, but I do. So,
It goes warm.
right, as we're mostly being ignored here in Cisco's office, right, so there are communications up with the Enterprise, not to
Yes.
here, because they've got our comm badges. This is what I'm going to say to the other half.
Yes.
Seriously, this whole thing had a communication suite in it. Find a way into it. You've got a data pad. Must be some hardwire somewhere in here we can tap onto. I'm going to try and get a reasonable read on that stuff they're using on the conduit so I can send Zelvok the signature. It doesn't even need to be audio, I just need to send in the data. If I can give him the signature of whatever explosive they're using, he might be able to beam a lot out. Because we can see that there is fighting, isn't there, elsewhere? So he's got transporter options into here. If I can get him a signature of what they're using, he might be able to beam it all out.
Right.
So I'm going to go and try and scan that without
And you want me to get
getting a
some sort
Jem'Hadar
of...
in a face. Find me a way of getting this info to the Enterprise. The Enterprise has got a wire into here somehow. This was the commander's office. They kind of stripped everything out. There must be something in here.
No, it's fine. I've got an idea.
Oh, God. Right. Okay. So, trying to scan things without Jem'Hadar noticing I'm scanning things is my plan. Probably stealth. Which
Does someone want to roll for him? Because I feel bad rolling for
Well, Pete was
Friend
rolling for him before,
I'll roll
wasn't
for
he?
him.
Sure. But I already have a plan. So
Okay, that's fine.
I'm going to reveal it if he's successful. So, probably, I don't know, reason engineering or control engineering.
Reason and engineering?
Certainly probably difficulty 1, actually, because it's more of a cunning plan than a difficulty to do.
1.
Good. So you're trying to get scans?
I'm trying to get a scan of this material they've brought in because, yeah, it can't just be your standard high explosive because it would have been picked up by a station scanner or something. But I'm just trying to see if I can find a molecular something
Yep,
to
difficulty
give
2, I'd say.
Zelvok something to lock onto. Okay, so reason and science?
No, it's more control or possibly daring again. Reason's not really thinking about it, it's more the scanning.
Control and science?
Yeah.
Am I getting anything relevant?
I was going to say, I don't know if you have relevant foci.
No, saying information, no. Got combat medic. Not a lot of help at the moment down here. Yes, 2 successes.
Hey.
Not underneath my thing, unfortunately, but 2 successes.
Right.
It has to be underneath the discipline, doesn't it? Not the attribute.
Yes.
Yeah, no, alas, no.
So, you through the door, you get the tricorder out, you scan the thing. It looks like it's just an unusual version of like some sort of smaller civilization in the Dominion tech that you've probably not come across. But it looks vaguely familiar, but not something you come across usually.
But I have something I could send Zelvok.
Problem is that it is very deliberately made so it has no distinctive things on scan. Probably so they got it in here is the only way they got it in here. But it is basically it's more of a sort of almost like a tricorder kind of thing itself. It's something you sort of attach properly to an APS conduit, and it does feedback. It does sort of positive feedback loop on it to cause stuff to overload.
So it's not a power thing itself, it's more of a management tool.
Yeah.
Is it still anything I think the Enterprise could target?
This one, yeah.
Well, that's me.
And then they may be able to figure something out from
That's true. They do have the engineer. Even so, that's the most useful way I can think of doing this.
Mhm.
What is the X's cunning plan?
So, he's got to link up, and you because you've got an audio basically through to that room, but but nothing else really, and it's going through a room itself. What he starts doing, you start basically getting sort of high compressed audio signal outside of hearing range, coming in through your signal. So one of your guys notices it, and it's basically binary. It's sort of a Morse coded binary kind of thing, a much higher frequency, both pitch wise and rate of information that you'd be able to hear. And so you've got like a sort of slightly weird data link, but it's not hugely efficient. But you can get stuff like scans and things through.
So I will try and scan.
There'll be like a header saying from Lieutenant Commander.
Yeah, Jem'Hadar with explosive devices all over ship. This
So,
is what
can we
it's supposed to-
beam her device off?
Yes.
Let's do that then.
But there's others.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
listen.
we can get this one, look at it, get a better idea of what we need to beam off, and then start beaming off the others.
Sure. So you're working on that while also directing this attack and that kind of thing?
I'm directing the attack. The transporter officer can beam off the thing.
Yeah, well, it's simple. It's done, basically. I mean, it's fit for you to get beaming in and out of there, but you can get a signal on something, it beams out. The EPS conduit probably explode in the room when it goes, though, because it was kind of doing that kind of thing, and if removed, probably
Yeah,
has
but
more
there's
feedback.
a bunch of Jem'Hadar around it, so
So one of the
there's-
Jem'Hadar
and
will
I'm-
go
and
go
I'm some
flying.
distance away, so this is not bad.
Well done.
Get those Jem'Hadar.
You're the first person to take out one of the
Well, I'm just
Jem'Hadar.
wondering.
The medical officer. Well done.
If there's enough chaos, I'll vote we try and get. Oh no, because the daughter and the guy can't move, can they?
She knows their weakness.
So, back to the fight, if that's all right.
Explosive.
So, back to the fight. So,
The fight.
yes.
Right.
So, yes, you've also just heard the warning. Generator unstable.
Well, clearly this isn't. Clearly, I'm not going to win this nicely. I'm going to stab him. I'm going to aim and stab him.
He's going lethal. Is it a lethal
I'm
attack?
going to aim. Yes, lethal attack. Aim and stab him. Right, momentum.
He's going to generate some threat.
I'm going to create an opportunity, so I get an extra D20 on this. And what would daring do if I use daring as well?
Huh? Daring to stab.
Sorry, determination.
Right.
Not that one.
Well, that one. It's gone. You've spent it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Right. Well,
Dan wants tea. No.
because it's probably got a small. It's not closed entirely, so there'll be steam coming out. Makes a hissing noise. Or a hissing noise. So, way points working spend is that you have to do a determination first, and it gives you a dice that's set to 1, so therefore 2 successes.
Nice.
Or you could use it to re-roll, or you could use it for second task. There's a number of things, but that's what it is for dice-wise. But you do have to buy that first, which means to buy an extra dice would cost 2 momentum, as opposed to the one you just spent.
Ah.
But you could also add to threat.
So determination goes first, then momentum spend.
Okay.
Yes.
So you could. Can you spend 1 momentum and add 1 threat?
Sure.
So you could spend your determination.
Yeah.
Get a 1. Do you need another dice then? Because one of those dice in your hand will be 2 successes,
It would.
and then you're rolling.
And extra successes don't add to damage or anything like that,
Yes, they can.
Oh,
Because they
well,
give you
so-
momentum. You can use momentum to add to
Well, in
damage.
which case, yeah, there is a point in overclocking it. Then if you-
Yeah.
I would have mentioned that if you'd had any
Oh, no.
successful attack at any point.
All of the things.
All of the above, and a point of threat.
So add a point of threat.
Whoa.
Which means you can actually re-roll that d20 because that's what your talent thinks you do. If you add to threat to add a dice,
Yep.
then you can re-roll that d20.
Ah, right. So you've got a d20 on a 1. So
And is this a lethal attack?
Yes.
I thought you'd done that.
Is it resisting the threat then? My dauntless thing.
No, that's resisting threats, not threat the points.
Okay.
It's threat the action.
Okay. I was going to say because if I'm being intimidated or threatened, I get a bonus D20.
Well, it probably is, but yeah, you're resisting it quite well. But if you're doing a lethal attack, then it's another threat, I'm afraid, because...
Well, I was doing that anyway. I said that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Cool.
Do it.
So one of these is already one.
No. You have another one.
This
That's
is
a one
already one.
Okay.
on the side.
Would you like to borrow one?
So that one is in fact 2.
Indeed.
So
Like
one
one
next to
equals
two.
2. Oh, that's not a good look on his face.
No. Can't you re-roll one of them?
You can re-roll one of them.
Indeed.
Re-roll one of them.
The highest one.
Well.
So 2 successes.
Fucking. Oh, that's a shame. That's you could have rolled worse, Keith. Well, did you get any 20s?
No.
Well, there's that. That's something.
You got 2 dice and they're out by 1.
He's got 2 12s.
That's a shame.
I need 11.
I'm afraid.
Science officer's log. The captain's going to have sparring lessons in the holodeck from now on.
So, how are you attacking him? Because if you remember, you just sort of gone near the thing and you trying to charge him by charging at him.
Well, he's pulled me like that.
Yes.
So I think the last thing he's expecting me is to go, oh, thanks, mate. And just sort of basically dive in and be like... I was aiming, I think.
Oh, that's a good point. That means you can reroll another d20, doesn't it? I think that's what aiming does.
Yeah.
Oh!
So
Was it another one?
No. Well, yes.
As
One.
in one success. Yes.
Yeah.
good.
1 success,
one.
not 2 successes.
But 3.
But this one that's on 1 should be 3.
Sorry? I know.
113, 113.
1 equals 3.
So, 3 successes.
Yes.
I mean, you did thankfully beat it.
Yes!
Wait for it.
That rolled really well off that one.
Hallelujah.
So, yes, you get damage. So, your damage is 2 plus your security. Plus
3.
any momentum.
Oh, God.
Hasn't the
Did he have extra momentum over the guy?
No, because unfortunately the guy got 3, which is why I quite glad he watched that as a success. Otherwise, the guy would have hit him in return. Because if you fail, it's an
And then
opposed
you'd be
thing.
dead.
It's an opposed thing. So whoever
Wow.
succeeds, yeah.
Oh.
Got a plan.
I'm going to throw
So-
it.
2 Starfleet signature and a splat.
So that's 5 damage.
And he resists 5 damage.
Oh, fuck!
No, he resists 2. Because,
Okay.
it's 5 if it's not lethal.
You always.
Ah, okay, sorry.
It's 5 if it's not lethal.
Okay,
Catches
gotcha.
it in his teeth.
That's his pain thing is non-lethal damage.
Yeah. The resistance
right,
pain
sorry.
is non-lethal damage
Because that would
resistance.
be horrendous.
Yeah. No. That's why I was recommended not doing lethal damage to him, because otherwise he resists hell loads.
So you did 3.
Yeah.
Indeed. So you do 3 damage. So you do a slice to him. Unfortunately, it's not enough to injure him because it's not 5, and it's not. I'm supposing he's not out of stress at that, because he doesn't have 3 stress.
He's
Because
got
that's
lots of
impossible.
stress.
Well, 3 I don't think is possible from what I remember. I think it's fitness plus something, and fitness can't be less than 7. So
And he's a
Isn't
Jem'Hadar.
it fitness plus medicine?
no, I think it's.
What?
I think the
No,
amount of
else
stress you
I'd
have
be
is something
doing
else.
really
I think it
well.
might be fitness plus security. To be
Yeah.
honest.
I think it's fitness plus
Oh,
security.
mine's gone up then. Oh no.
Have you got any?
Huh?
Yeah, I think it's fitness plus security.
Oh, it's gone down. It's gone down. Whoops.
It's fine. You're very good at many aspects of command. And to be fair, hand-to-hand fighting shouldn't have to
So
be
you
one
go for him. He
Died
does
at the end
dodge
of the
slightly,
shakedown
and you do get him a nice gash across here, and it cuts through like whatever random the generic Andorian clothing that looks slightly off that he decided to wear, and kind of slices across here. But
I'm cutting his shirt off, piece by piece.
Does he bleed?
when he bleeds, it bleeds sort of that sort of
Does
CG
he
liquid,
bleed?
like
Yeah.
Odo turned into. It's like changeling liquid, basically.
Ugh.
Sort of bleeds out and then kind of, yeah.
That's not how it's supposed to work.
And as it kind of, it seems to almost like it's changing colours on the way down into like various different colours of blood. So your greens and your blues and your reds, and your purples that Klingons sometimes bleed.
Yeah.
If they're in the mood.
Petrol.
Yeah.
Yes, it goes by. That's quite pretty. That's good effect.
And he goes,
I go, yeah! And all the Jem'Hadar
They'll
look
turn
at
and
me.
look at me.
It's where you just go. It's all like, and then all go, huh?
No, just go.
and he goes, not bad. And then he goes
Then just
straight back at you.
Punches you in the face.
Oh,
He
dear.
might roll badly.
And that's
I
fine.
hope so.
He's counting threat.
The captain has it under control. He has a cunning plan. He's the captain.
I have
He'll
faith
do
in the
something.
captain. I agree. The captain is
My
infallible. The captain is our hero.
Nah. I'll give you a chance.
My plan is it's like I can't be a captain without my crew.
So I'm going to spend the determination he got because he is a major MC and so can have determination.
Please don't sing on the channel anymore, Dan.
So I'm going to spend his determination.
Okay.
And then I'm going to roll his normal dice. And you get this is again, it's an opposed roll, so you get to roll to defend.
So he has a 1. Okay.
Can you also use my determination to resist?
You can add an extra dice and set to 1 as well.
Yeah.
I think not being dead is very
And
critical.
remember, basically, on melee attacks, it's an opposed roll. Whoever wins the roll,
Hurts
it
someone.
hits the other person.
Yeah.
So he's doing a lethal attack. So
We have a 1.
because, however, whoever's acting on a tie, they win. That's important. 'Cause
Okay,
otherwise,
yes.
you wouldn't have hit. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have hit last.
Yeah.
So I have 3. How many do you have?
3.
That means similar to how he was, because it's a tie, but I'm the active person. I unfortunately do hit you. So let's see how.
Can I add a threat to reroll?
No, not damage.
Hi, everybody.
Actually,
You're not gonna die, you'll be fine.
4. Actually, no, that's 5. Right, okay. What can you do to? I don't think you can do anything at this point. Don't think.
I'll just be asleep on the floor.
Could you give 2 threat to make his difficulty increase by 1?
No, that one you have to spend before the roll.
Okay.
That's one of the few times you have to spend momentum before a roll to do
We
anything.
don't have any momentum.
Immediate.
Yeah, but you can add to threat for that.
Ah.
You can
I
add
think it's an
threat
immediate.
instead.
That's an immediate
It's
spend, I
immediate.
believe.
Yeah, sorry.
So any immediate spend you can add.
You can obtain information. How many of your teeth did come out?
So, just gonna.
If it's any help, he's biologically an extremely interesting specimen, so there's all sorts of data probably off this. It's quite interesting.
And you know, he is like a super hard Jem'Hadar warrior, so
Well,
if
he's
you're
a
going to die...
changeling Jem'Hadar warrior.
Yeah, well, there you go. If you're going to die...
I see a lot of interest.
Oh, shit.
It's okay, Jan's got the transporter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was doing that, wasn't I?
I need this.
You're fine. You might not be dead
Don't
out there.
worry. Artificial heart.
Have you
you'll be
had
fine.
any character deaths on the channel?
No.
No. First time for everything then.
Oh.
Well, okay.
Be a good plug for the show, wouldn't it?
He has rolled.
Think about the ratings, dude.
Someone dies.
Worryingly,
But who would it be?
worryingly well. So
Yeah.
he's
No,
got
It's
2
fine.
times,
If I
4.
if I die now, I'll just start spouting
It's still
spoilers
vicious.
for
That's
Endgame.
8.
Yeah. And then another one.
9.
Yeah. 9 damage. So he's done more than 5, so you take an injury, and you go over your limit, so you take another injury.
So you're unconscious and fucked.
How many injuries before you die?
2.
That is...
So,
So the captain's dead.
the captain is currently dead.
currently dead.
It's Star Trek. No. It's Star Trek.
So he falls to the
It's
ground.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
So he goes, good hit, and he goes, and then basically slices the throat right open.
Okay.
Blood gushes over
Can
the
I
deck
act?
of the space station.
And let's as a
Okay.
nice extra thing, he kind of holds you up and then stabs you in the back of the spine as well with the sort of pointy end, and you fall to the ground.
Wonderful.
Is he disattaching his arm from the gauntlet?
At the moment, he's mostly sort of holding him up
Dragging my body
and waving him around, and sort of. Is he dead?
that's fine.
I think he's dead.
Okay. I'm gonna press the button on my thing and throw it across the room, and at the same time, counting the 3 seconds, I'm going to run across the room towards the captain's body and shout, "Beam us up, Zelbok!" And like,
slip over in my blood.
probably. I'm sorry, but the guy's about to murder everyone in the room, so I'm getting out of here. Yeah, fuck this. Sorry about the 10 other officers in the back room there.
I fired through force fields.
That's true. That's true. I'm getting out of here. So,
Let's see.
No, it's fine. I'm leading by example.
dying.
Oh, one thing which I've just remembered is talent you may have, because some people here had it, but I can't remember who, is veteran,
Yes.
which means when you
I'm
spend
a veteran.
determination, you can roll one of these dice to see if you get the point back.
He's
I won't change anything that's happened, but you might get.
He's not got any more determination.
Yeah, but when he spent it,
Oh, okay.
every time you spend determination, you've got the veteran talent. You can roll one of these.
So
if you roll a suffix
insignia.
symbol, you get it back.
Right, so I'm going to roll 2 of these for both of my determination. Go.
Well, there you go.
Can someone else roll for Keith, please? We've determined.
Keith is
We've
not,
determined through determination.
Keith is
that
not
Keith should
rolling
not roll
anymore
dice.
tonight.
Yeah. Sam,
think
you're going to roll for Keith.
It was a
now.
badass, awesome death.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
It was a really good distraction.
Also,
yes, they
it's
didn't want to
Star
use it for anything.
I'm about to.
It's
Yeah,
also
it's
Star
for you.
Trek. He might not be as dead as he says.
Oh yeah, no one's
Exactly.
actually dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
He's got some-
I'm trying to roll on 11s on D20.
I mean, it's not like we're separated from our chief medical
above
officer
11.
or anything.
And there are other medical qualified staff on the
Like I
Enterprise.
say, this is why you got
Enterprise,
determination for agreeing to this, because you were taking a huge risk, and one of your what do you call it? Beliefs, values.
values.
Is like taking huge risks. What's it?
Risk is part of the game.
Yeah, and it
If you want
was.
to sit in that chair.
Clearly.
Okay. Right. So
Especially
if he's
roleplay.
holding him up, like
I'll say, as you are running over, you do see the cut that he's got here actually slowly healing up
The-
on Primus.
oh
Big
yeah,
challenge.
yeah, that's fine. I know he's going to be healing because he's a demi changeling. But I'm going to throw the to one side.
So you're throwing that as attraction against the other Jem'Hadar.
How big do I think the explosion would be?
Those are pretty damn big. I mean, they like blow up corridors and stuff, don't they? So yeah.
Cool. Because I was thinking, do I throw it at Primus's face
not
Yes!
and then jump on him and go
Yes.
for a beam out, and the explosion happens at the same time, or do I just throw it like in the cluster of blood?
I think
Jem'Hadar.
if you're rolling really well, it goes straight into the wound.
Though if anyone's rolling for the transporter chief,
Yes,
can
which
it
they
not
will
be
be.
Keith?
I think it should
It's
be.
you. It's you.
No, no,
You're
I-
rolling
I
for
think
the-
No, I
should
think
be
Dan.
Keith.
I
Oh yeah, I think
Dan.
Dan should roll.
Someone
for
will be rolling for the transporter chief, and if it doesn't go off and you have just thrown it at the guy you're next to,
No,
he's
so,
definitely
no. No, so I'm not going to throw it at the guy's face. I'm going to throw it near the Jem'Hadar,
Yeah.
towards one of the panels.
That
or
makes
something,
more sense.
over there.
I was gonna say, 'cause
and I'm going to run at the captain and literally go for a full body hug, and shouting through the open comm line, "Enterprise, to beam up on the captain's location!"
Straight to med bay, please.
Well, do I keep this still?
What you did agree to
Keep
it.
that forever.
Strictly speaking, it's gone, but you know.
He's not, strictly speaking.
I'm disappointed that they're not close to the notes.
Dear.
Okay, Dan, you're going to roll for the.
I
So,
really don't feel comfortable making this roll. Right, who's got the transport character?
Oh yeah, we need the.
We need the transporter chief.
sorry, yes. And you do also need to roll to throw and run and distract.
Oh yeah, true.
They'll get the captain,
Hey,
but whether they'll get you is how quickly you run.
Well, at least if I save the captain, I will
It's
die.
like Daring is your middle name.
Daring is my middle name,
Third name.
as is security.
Yes, Keith, no more dice. No more dice.
Yes, and I'll yes, probably some sort of daring or fitness roll to throw back and run.
equally strong. and
Commanders are not allowed to go
science.
anywhere.
Security for throwing and running.
Yeah,
And
no,
security's both, I'm afraid.
No worries. No worries.
Yes.
Is there any momentum?
No.
No.
But you can always add to threat.
I could add to threat. Yeah.
We're going to explode Deep Space Nine with
I'm going to
that,
add
you didn't-
1 point of threat to get an extra die.
And they can build a proper.
I'm going to be
space
generous and not
station
count this as a
rather
lethal
than
attack.
bloody
Yes,
old
they're spending
colour.
That's
straight
the
one.
M1.
And to spend
I'm
another
not throwing it
one.
at any Jem'Hadar. I'm throwing it into an air.
Temples are here.
It's more of a distraction.
Sorry?
The temples here.
Difficulty
Was.
2, because this is quite a dramatic thing to do.
You find that.
Okay, here we go. I'm rolling to throw and run and jump.
Well, all it is a suitably painted room.
But isn't the
Okay.
door?
You got to admit, this is pretty difficult.
Oh no, no, absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with the difficulty whatsoever. I'm
You can ask yourself-
questioning my own sensibilities. 2 successes.
You're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yes! More successes! Boom, motherfucker! Beam us up, Scotty! Oh no,
Ilya.
yeah.
Right, what am I using for transports?
You better fucking beam.
It's normally
This I can do.
Controlling
If I
and
was on the
engineering.
Enterprise,
Control
I
and
could very
engineering.
easily
That's
beam up.
16
Beam me
total.
up.
Yes, you could.
and a speciality, and it's 2 dice to
And I have a
faultly.
speciality, 2
I think
dice.
we should
it.
give him a medal.
2 dice to
Right, now,
faultly,
I'm staying on
and
the ship.
the ship will be helping as
Never
well.
again.
Oh, quick, the ship.
Shall I roll for the ship?
Ship.
Oh,
Oh, you gotta captain roll for the ship. Go on.
Oh, go on.
So it'll be sensors plus What's the things I've forgotten all?
Engineering?
Yes.
And it's one die for the
And one
ship.
dice because you're helping.
Yes.
2 successes.
Yes!
Good.
So 3 successes for you
That's
guys.
a 12.
Hey!
Good.
These are all 12s.
So,
They're biased
Can I
to
use
12.
2 momentum to inflict
what's this?
additional
What's
damage
this?
on the Jem'Hadar?
12!
sure.
So how much damage do I roll? I just want to hurt him a bit on the
We've
way
got those
out.
2 security guards outside as well.
I don't fucking care.
No, do some damage to go and sort of shoot shit out of him.
That's true.
I've got a pulse grenade, so
I'm,
we'll go with that.
I'm
what's
saving that roll
That's
for my
4.
next roll. It's a 1, a 2, and a 4.
Okay.
Just to prove
So I
it's not
had
dice.
4 momentum and difficulty was 2, so that's 2 extra. What can I do with that on damage?
It just adds 2 extra after
2
you've
extra
rolled.
dice.
No, not dice.
Oh,
after
2
you've rolled.
extra damage. Okay.
And it's area, so yeah, each effect you do affects one person, extra person, basically.
Each effect I do.
Every of the stuffy symbols, which is strictly speaking called effect, will hit one. Like, so if you don't roll any of those, you've hit 1.
Oh, okay.
For each one you do,
It's like landed in a guy's pocket.
exactly. That's the thing. All the other ones have dived out the way or
Okay.
something.
But if I do they count as a point of damage as well?
Yeah, those
Okay.
count as 1
Okay.
plus whatever extra
What
stuff
a
you might
special
get.
effect? Okay. Ooh, I've done 4 damage to 3 of them, which is non-lethal,
And
so they just absorb
How many of them
some
were
of
in
it.
there?
3 of it.
How? What?
remember.
Hang on, it's a photon. It's a phaser exploding.
we'll count it
Surely
as
it's
lethal for now because
Oh.
it kind of is. But I just can't be able to add to threat for it because
Sure.
you might use it as a attraction. So
Okay.
let's still resist 2 of it, but if you add an extra 2, then I'll.
And this is when the 2 security guards that were standing outside run in and start shooting things.
Probably.
Excellent. Wicked. And I
Everything is going according to
dematerialise
plan.
and rematerialise above a biobed in the medical bay. Boom. And I'm having an intimate moment with the
I
captain
was
on a
going to say,
biobed.
He's dead,
there's
however.
probably a little.
I know he's dead.
There's probably a little bit of a splat
Yeah.
as well.
I'm doing that. So I'm holding his neck. Looks like I'm strangling him as we land on the biobed. But I'm actually applying pressure to the wound.
medics.
A small wave of blue-collared Starfleet officers leap over him.
I was going to say, please tell me the next medic.
Your medicine is 1.
not
So yeah, sure. That's yeah, sure.
Strangling him.
I'm more meant, please tell me the next Doctor Down is not a Bajoran. Because if their first sight is in the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Very good staff uniforms. They don't just stand there with phasers. Next patient in. It's Kardashian.
It's a Bajoran. They got their funky old school. I like
Actual
the,
guns.
I like the
I
Bajoran
bet.
guns.
Right.
They're very cool.
Okay, so right, so there's no one in the bridge anymore, so I can't quite be able to roll everything of what's happening.
I have a
What's
couple of
happening?
things I wanted to do, but
Go ahead.
right. So we've got him back on board. So the first thing we were going to do was get him to medbay.
Well, you've been site to medbay, unsurprisingly.
Hopefully now we've got a kind of idea of what these devices are, and can we start beaming them back on board or into space?
Space would be better. Feels like someone should roll for that.
Transport.
Well, yeah, the
Transporter
transporter
chief,
chief.
sure.
Can make so start beaming them off the station.
Pretty hard. So
Yeah, he's to medical bay, and then the other action was to take the
Wow.
things off the ship, and the
God.
final
You
thing
did.
was to. Can we deactivate the shield yet around everyone, or no?
You should have no more control over them
That's
than you
fine.
did before.
Maybe we should let it blow up the power generator
I
and all the
was
shields.
hoping to be at least,
Oh no, it's 2 dice, isn't it?
like
It is 2
3 or 4
default.
rounds.
The ship will help.
Can someone help me with the ship?
I'm going to say
please?
3 though, because this is quite
Oh,
hard.
have we got
Ship.
anything we can spend or anything?
But the ship rolled a 1.
Oh, okay. 2 successes here.
So 4 successes.
Wow! Look at that. High five the ship.
To be fair, it's a holographic one. It's quite possible it high
The ship is
back.
better than the captain at rolling dice. This is really weird.
The captain is in the ship.
He's trying to become
download
the
my
ship.
brain
Yeah.
into the computer.
No.
Right.
Yeah, so they'll be,
Captain is now a hologram.
I think they'll be beamed out into space where
So-
we can shoot them.
Oh, yes.
I'm head in a jar on the bridge.
It's still slow going. So you've got 1 momentum on that roll. You could spend it to make it go slightly quicker because it's still going to be like detecting them one at a time because they are in shielded places on EPS conduits where the readings are a bit weird.
Can I blag for making it slightly quicker and starting with key departments.
Sure. You may
Basically,
get-
places where the most damage will happen.
Sure. It may go before. Yes. Right now, it might blow up or might not. It's on the edge. It was going to blow up, but now
On
it
the
might not.
cusp.
It might not. Yes, it's on the edge.
You'll need another bridge to sort out this power generate thing as well.
Well, once they've taken over from my expert medical skills, I will run out.
They will take
out,
it.
just get
We'll do it in
transported
a
to
minute.
I'm pretty
I
certain.
know. Can they beam me without the blood on my hands as well? Because that looks really bad. Right.
What colour are your own blood? Is it red?
Shooting the Cardassians
Can't
got blood on
remember.
his hands.
Oh,
It was red, wasn't it?
It's purple, isn't it?
I don't know actually.
Neither do
I
I.
don't know.
Oh, phone's coming out.
Oh,
There you go.
hello. He's going to check the
Neither
internet.
do I. Right. Well, we'll see if the medical officer does make it back in time to do
Well,
the
yes,
medical thing.
there was an explosion,
Yes.
wasn't there?
In the ops in the old DS9 ops, there was indeed an explosion.
Right.
One of the Jem'Hadar is sort of blown out and down. And there's two others that are sort of looking around confused. Well, one will be coming over to you guys because you're the nearest ones and they're suspicious. But fair enough.
Blue.
Blue with blue blood.
That
Yeah.
would make sense. Really.
Blue skin.
Blue blood, nice. Skin would have to be very blue if their blood was red for them not to be purple.
True.
Right, yes, need to get out. There are doors, or at least there were doors to Cisco's office, weren't there?
Yeah.
Mm.
And they're for the commandant's office, so they're probably reasonably good doors.
Mm-hmm.
We jam shut with the daughter and the guard inside.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I'll just go. It's not that interesting not to roll that. So yes, you can jam them outside, yeah.
Them inside.
What?
You keep the
I need to
Jem'Hadar
get
outside.
out.
Right.
So you want to go out and then jam the door behind you?
We want to get the daughter and but the daughter and the guy can't move.
No.
Could we shut them in there?
Who? The daughter and the thing.
And the
yeah.
guide, and then I only have to bullshit some Jem'Hadar.
Yes.
Because I think bullshitting is probably better than unarmed combat. Which it turns out my unarmed combat is better than the captain's, but I still think bullshitting is probably the way to go with Jem'Hadar.
Yes.
I think your unarmed combat is better than my armed combat.
Yes, if one's approaching
What
us,
do you think
I'm
is
going to
the
try and say, look, the Enterprise is beaming people down. We're not a
What
threat.
did you
We're
do?
we're two unarmed scientists. We did nothing. Look out there. Go and look. I can hear the fighting from here. The Enterprise is obviously, we've regained control of the Enterprise. We're two unarmed scientists and a teenage girl and a tour guide.
I study pulsars.
Give me persuading rolls to see if you can persuade the Jem'Hadar to leave. Because it's sensible. You are
Presents.
pointless targets.
Come on, he's a bit more enthusiastic about pulsars than that.
But he's
Presents
very
and-
not enthusiastic about Jem'Hadar.
Yes.
I presume I can't plug it as medicine psychiatry, can I, really?
No.
Presence and command?
Yes. And husband can help.
Presence and command.
Would also be fine.
Yeah. He can try to help. And fail.
Difficulty. I'm going to say 1.
2. In fact, does it have to be under or equal to?
Under or equal to if you've got a relevant focus.
3. Oh, no, I don't. No, probably not. 2, even so, 2. So does that mean we use momentum?
Yes.
Indeed, you do get a point of momentum. They're like, fine. And they do turn out and run out. You are left alone. What do you do?
Right. Is there anyone out there that is on our side, whether they're shut in a force field or not?
Out where?
Out in the... They're running out into the wider corridor.
They're running out into the museum. You can follow them. There's other people. The museum mostly seems to be abandoned until they get to the promenade, at which point they'll probably get cut down quite quickly. Because the promenade's been taken back already.
Yes, that's basically my plan. I need to get to somewhere that I can... Or if we see any comms along the way, because I need to get to the Enterprise.
Right.
It's basically what I need to do. And find some help for daughter and civilian.
Yeah, you can get to some comms at some point.
Yeah,
Probably
either
the promenade.
person or...
Yeah. You can get to some comms at some point. What do you want to do?
If it is either person or comms, just say, look, I'm the Enterprise Chief Medical Officer. I need to know what's happening. There is my daughter and another civilian down there. They're shut in Cisco's office.
Right.
But yeah, there's no one else down there. But the other Jem'Hadar are cleared.
Right. Well, they're still fighting over the station, but we can send a couple of people to. Well, we can send someone to guard that. The
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
If they're
There's no
locked,
one
they'll
else
probably
down
be
there. I
fine.
think they're
It's
fine.
forceful
But
aren't
just
going
make
anytime
sure
soon. And yes, there's a communication with the Enterprise.
Yes, you stay with them, okay, and just stay with the retrieval team. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I will.
You did brilliant. Seriously,
Thanks.
the acoustic thing. That was really clever.
Yeah,
I feel
thanks.
like she's going to pat your
al-
head or something.
no, he's already going back to the pad. I'll
Yeah.
keep an eye on him.
Yeah, fab.
Right. Yeah,
Prent Enterprise, finally.
Primus and Medbay.
I was asking first, I assume.
I don't mind,
Don't need
actually.
to.
Apparently,
Consent.
Don't need to IR ranker.
Okay. No, I have no objection to being beamed to my own medbay without explicit consent. This is fine.
Right. Okay, you get beamed to the med bay.
Captain's dead.
Captain
I'd
is
like to use this opportunity to spend momentum for a minor action. I'd like to stand up.
No.
It's turned into that Vulcan episode from Enterprise.
silly episode.
The zombies.
Anyway, yes. So yes, no, you're beamed into the med bay. They are doing emergency stuff on him, but it is basically hooking him up to life support machines, things. Because his spine's been cut, he has nothing going on down here.
How did he get out of there? I mean, there must have been some kind of hero.
No, honestly, I think a medal's involved.
I'm joking aside, I don't think the was involved. But anyway.
I didn't notice any of it.
But the logs and
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about, good chap.
I was going to say.
the Bajorans will, however.
I was going to say
Some of them are behind force fields.
Yes, I was going to say the sensors are offline. Everyone that was not in force fields is probably dead.
My scientific tricorder was recording the whole thing.
And some people were in force
I'm
fields.
a Cardassian. I'm
At a
egotistical.
minimum, mentioned in dispatches.
Anyway,
So in the medical
can I
bay,
make the
however.
captain not be dead?
Sorry.
I think this would be...
Right, yeah, difficulty
Mission critical.
3 or 4 with, again,
Yes, please, Lil.
because it's really, really hard, but you have got a med
Yeah.
bay and all the useful things.
Oh, cup.
For me.
Sorry.
Somebody pass down a cup, please.
Sorry to interrupt you again, Adam.
That is alright.
No worries.
Wine's involved.
I don't kick the dice, let's make it 3.
Right.
Thank you.
So what am I doing? It's not really the first aid task. We're kind of beyond that, are we?
Yes.
Or-
You have momentum.
It's it's not really a task in there, so...
There's momentum.
Yeah, just if I do first aid, if
He's
I do
not
it
going to
properly,
spend it.
I can spend a momentum cause the recipient to regain stress equal to my medical discipline. But if he's already technically dead,
We'll
then
say you can do that.
okay, marvelous.
He's only
So-
mostly dead.
I was going to
Let's see
say,
how
the
it
stress
goes.
thing's not really his greatest problem at the moment, so...
So this is.
The lack of spine function.
So-
Do you think he'll have to go to rehab for a while?
I want him to not be dead,
Holographic
for he is my captain.
Exoskeleton.
yes.
How does the spending of these and my single remaining blue thing work? When in the role is the points to spend them?
Spend that beforehand.
Well, like I said, determination does a lot of things. It can allow you to re-roll, but it could
It
also
calls you a single
gives you a
remaining
dice
blue thing.
set to 1 ahead of time.
Because I need 3
Essentially called you a
successes.
single
My
blue thing.
medicine is 5,
Yes.
but I'm still only rolling 2 dice, which is definitely not a
I
guarantee.
think you meant
So-
momentum.
Yes.
So if I spent that set
You
it
get
to
a
1,
dice
I'll
set to 1.
automatically get 2.
Then you just need to roll 1 success on the other 2.
Then I just need to roll 1 success of the other 2, which I should be able to do.
Do you not have any other talents? You have a lot of medical
I
talents.
have a lot of medical talents, but so there's 1 round first aid. Is that chief medical officer? Oh, I always have the advantage I always have the advantage medical department once I'm on the ship.
Yeah, kind
But I
of.
assume that is a given. Again, triage. I can identify multiple. I can diagnose multiple casualties, but I only have the 1 casualty at the moment. So
And my
yes.
pride.
Sure. Just need 1 success on those 2 dice.
And I've only got to roll 16 or less.
It's fine. You're not. You're the Patrick Stewart type of the Enterprise, not the
1, 2,
Cisco or
3, 4, 5
or
successes.
Janeway type.
Yay! There you go,
Many
she's
of
got
those?
5 successes.
5 successes.
That's why she's chief medical officer.
What value did you have that was relevant to this? Because he had, like, risk is the thing of the game and calm in the storm. He had loads of relevant values to when he was spending them. But
Starfleet is my destiny. I'm doing what's right by my
indeed,
career.
saving your captain's very Starfleet.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So you get
Yes,
to roll
it is.
You get to roll a black cube now and see if you get it back.
No, she
No,
has
I'm
other
not
veterans.
veteran.
You're
No,
not veteran.
She has
I'm-
other talents. I think the 2
I'm
veterans are these guys.
No, I've just done nice, sensible things that involve staying in medical bases and making people better.
Veteran means you've been in Starfleet a long time, like
Yeah.
a while.
Yes.
Whereas I've been in Starfleet like 15 years. Maybe more.
I've
So I
been,
was
I've
there
been
before
over
the daughter
50,
was
so...
born, so 18-ish.
You've got to have at least the rank of lieutenant commander, so that long.
Yeah.
So you could have had.
Technically, I've now
I
briefly
could have
left
had, but I
Starfleet.
didn't. I was at
Anyway.
Vulcan Science Academy and all.
So, his injuries, we'll say you've cured his injuries, your injuries are gone.
So technically speaking, also
gonna take a few minutes, though, so you're gonna be
five
confident
stress- He could have 5
You're
stress
captain
back,
for a little while.
technically.
I think
Sorry?
we're doing all right.
Well, if we are
Yeah.
using the thing
We're
you
actually-
did
we're
for the first
actually-
aid
this is
test, you
actually
could have
worked out
5
quite
stress
well.
back.
Pretty
Yeah,
swift
you want?
funeral
You could have
and
5
head off.
stress back if you would like.
Yay!
Launch the torpedo through the wormhole.
That's spending momentum, isn't it?
Yes, but I've still got that momentum
Can I
enough.
have a
to
rubber,
spend
please?
so,
Human.
is there one on the end of pencil that works? Because it will be better than anything else.
No.
Pete, have you got a rubber? Pete's the sort of
I've
person.
got rubber on the end of my pencil.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, too late.
But that one's really
My rubber's in the
smudgy.
house.
It is. Smudge rubber. That's all I
My
have.
rubber's in the house. Sorry. Just randomly throwing things at each other.
Throw things at you.
And really confuse anyone
I thought it
watching
was
us
for you.
on the screen.
Yes, as it randomly darts from one area and appears on another.
Yeah.
So,
But at least they know we're actually all in the same room
We
together.
are definitely all in the same room.
Yeah.
so you
I
had one momentum at the beginning of that.
Yes.
You generated 2 extra momentum on that roll.
Right.
How much momentum are you spending for the stress?
A 1, I think it is.
So you still have 2 momentum left
So I
over,
still have 2 extra momentum left over.
which you can store or you can spend on stuff.
I think we should probably store at the moment, given the fact you guys are still trying to stop DS9.
Can we
blowing
use
up.
that to accelerate getting the ops
yeah,
off
maybe
the
in a bit.
station?
Well, there are 2 momentums.
I'm going to get on the sensors and find them all.
He will sort it. I have every faith in him.
Okay, so you're all aboard.
I do.
Well,
So are we you're spending those to do the thing quicker?
No,
Well, no,
No,
we're just we've got it
They're in the
there.
roll or something. Anyway, what will be happening for now is that while all of that was happening, that you hear lots of fighting coming across the order you've got from the ops.
yeah.
Yeah. But you will also hear Primus going, "Oh, you've stolen my prize, but the only prize I really want is my ship. Enterprise? My Enterprise. Respond."
Oh,
We're still beaming the things off, right?
I'm
Are we
running up.
beat him to the bridge?
Am I beaming up to the bridge?
Yes.
I'm so
Okay.
glad I'm unconscious in that bit.
I'll just say, can you turn that off? Someone blow that room up.
no.
I'm not saying. There are Starfleet
No,
officers.
it's fine. I'm unconscious.
This is
in that
Commander Zelvok.
Yes, your captain agreed to give me your ship now.
I understand.
Well then, how are we going to do this?
We have to make certain preparations first. Please bear with us.
Good, good. I'm just killing your officer here on ops until you get round to that then.
I'm running to the sensors and I'm scanning. I'm scanning.
Okay, so what are you scanning for?
I'm gonna try and beam those people out first. Can we scan that, or do you want me to beam all the commander? Do you want me to help the people in ops, or do you want me to
We've
solve
already
the
got-
power problem?
Solve the
Power
power problem.
Okay, right.
No, not the power problem. We need the we need to be transporting more of the devices off.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what we meant.
Yeah.
The imminent explosion of Deep Space
Yes.
Nine problem.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, the admittedly 7 Starfleet officers, although armed, and some of the Jem'Hadar were exploded. There were a lot of Jem'Hadar in that ops.
Yeah,
Your
Yeah.
scans tell you that it's...
they're all dead.
There's probably one left who's still firing from the turbo left, but yeah.
It's behind a console, and he's like, turns around, and there's a Jem'Hadar right there, and then cuts back to us on the bridge.
Yeah. So yeah, luckily those characters, your spawning characters you were playing earlier, were in force field, so they're just kind of like, ooh,
I can't see because of all the blood on the force field.
If the blood did hit the force field, would it kind of like sizzle
Sizzle.
away and
Sizzle,
sizzle and
yeah.
steam a bit?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, can't
I
see.
think it would sizzle and sort of drip down, sizzle, sing, like you're throwing like water onto like a boiling surface,
Yes,
like a hob.
yeah, like a hot plate.
Yeah. Anyway, grim
Weird
Star Trek.
segue. Yeah. It's DS9. It's not Voyager.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I'm going to scan the shit out of it.
I'm just going to say that, yeah. So you'll be able to get most of the devices as soon as you start working at it. You'll get
Yeah.
most of the devices.
Okay.
So it looks like the energy's stabilising.
Yep.
You know, it looks like the Jem'Hadar on board are slowly being sort of whittled down. It looks like the battle's basically more or less won on the station
Yes.
when
Just ops.
Uh-oh.
the 9 threat I've just spent.
got 9 threat.
You can bring in reinforcements with threat as well. And when you get with ships, you have to do the scale of the ships.
Shields.
So on long range,
it does
on scans, you also pick up at a range 3 Jem'Hadar attack ships. The smaller ones.
Ah, cool. So I'm picking up 3 Jem'Hadar attack fighters on long range sensors.
Only 3 of them.
Oh god.
Yeah, the ones where they just fly at your ship so you blow up.
Get the ship blown up while I'm conscious. I'm not going to be happy.
You're going to come back to life, and then a ship's going to crash into the med bay and kill you again. That would be really harsh.
You can still fix that, right?
Can I scan them to see if, with my knowledge of Jem'Hadar attack vessels, is there anything any particularly different about them, or...
How far away are reinforcements?
Well, let's see. How long would have that taken? About half an hour at most, so
Yeah.
3 hours. Generously.
Captain,
And the station's not going to have very many
tactical
weapons.
configuration, or whatever it's called. Vengeance configuration. I'm not sure what we called it.
Tactical.
Did we give it
Death.
You could rename it
Death
if you'd like.
configuration. Yeah.
I've called it tactical.
Tactical configuration.
It's one of the orange ones.
Agreed.
I'll press the big...
Orange.
So, we
Yeah.
actually need to start with power things at this point.
Ooh.
I have the power.
You've been waiting like 5 weeks to say that, haven't you?
You've either got to say that as, I got the power, or I have the power. One of the two. There's no...
The second one.
I think
Okay.
it was more in the second one, definitely,
Yeah.
I would say.
The good bit in that film. I like that bit. Very
That
cool.
whole movie is awesome.
I know, but I really like the bit where he pulls the sword out of the throne. It's awesome. Anyway.
So,
And that's how King Arthur was. Right, how many power do we have?
well, you've started, I think, with 16.
Sorry, for any listeners, Keith has got a bag of dilithium crystals, effectively. Pink dilithium crystals.
I think we're
What
on
colour-
octolithium.
are they normally-
They're pinky clear.
Okay.
It varies.
No. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. So he's got a bag of dilithium crystals which is just dashed across the table.
I thought about getting transparent ones, but then that's more boring and hard
No,
to
they're
see.
cool. Yeah, we can see them
There should be
easily.
6.
So, and then to change to a different configuration, each one of the ones have, in the little opening paragraph on them, the amount of power it is for multi-purpose, which is your standard configuration.
Opening paragraph.
At the
And
end.
do we get the power back? Was it like...
Power 16.
No, the very top, underneath the USS Enterprise thing.
5 power. Requirement for multi-purpose. So we lose 5.
Right.
1, 2,
So each scene you start with the sort of default number of power for that
So don't
configuration.
throw it away. Put it to the side, because every...
I've got it.
Okay. I've got it.
I've got the 5.
And you can do actions to get it back, basically.
So we have 11
Tasks.
power.
There's lots of tasks you can do in ship fights, but we'll worry about that if we get into a fight. But for now, we'll say that power has been spent for now. And, yeah, we can get back in fights and things, but yes.
I think that might be
Not
the
necessarily.
next episode.
Well, it depends. It may or may not be a fight. We shall see.
Yeah.
Anyway, they appear as you're slowly, transporting. What are you transporting these things on board or into
In
space?
space.
Okay, they're not explosive. They are just.
No, they're just devices.
They're just EPS. They just mess with EPS conduits. As long as you don't think they want EPS conduits.
Can we
yeah.
keep one? Can we actually keep one? Just
I think keep a
to
couple.
understand. Yeah, a few of them, just to understand the technology a bit better.
I think it's a minor Dominion race, so we don't hush about them anyway, so it can't hurt.
It could be a weakness we don't know this technology, so they could use it again.
Yeah, they just look like they're very sort of combination of well shielded, and don't look exactly like what they are when you first scan them. So basically, they seem to have been a little slightly different. So they were probably smuggled aboard, you would reckon.
Yeah.
How
long until the Jem'Hadar vessels are in weapons range?
Say 5 minutes.
Okay.
How long will it take me to destroy ops?
Do you want to blow up the ops Command Center.
This is my last resort.
This is my last resort. I've literally done nothing for like beamed everyone off.
This,
And I blow it up.
this is my like.
Can we beam the Jem'Hadar in ops into space?
You still haven't got the shields still up
That's
around
true,
it.
I'm
yeah.
going to say that was literally my first suggestion.
Yes.
3 episodes ago.
Unfortunately. Right.
Yeah.
What do I know? I'm dead.
Very slightly dead.
I'm sorry, you're not
that dead
some
anymore.
medical surgery to get you back from dead. I apologise for 4 minutes of downtime for being stabbed in the neck, both sides.
I did like the flourish at the end though. Like he just stabs you in the spine as well. That's nice.
Well, he took 2 injuries, so I
No,
thought,
I know, but it was like haha and spine.
Fatality.
because yes, bleeding significantly from the neck is like 30 seconds to a minute before death.
Mm.
Well, even before low enough blood to be. Yeah, anyway, this was immediate. So,
In future, when somebody asks you, challenges you to hand combat, can you say no, please?
Just
Or
try not to
suggest,
have the distraction be your
say
death.
or say
Just
like,
evade for a while. I'll do the beaming thing anyway.
or suggest chess or something.
It's not death.
I mean, I've learned from that. Can my security go up a bit?
you can swap things around, Will. If you'd like.
No, because by the time I put it all into security, I will then need skills that I no longer have.
I was going to say, then someone else will get stabbed. You'll need medicine. You're like, why did I dump all those medicine points in security? The horror. Anyway. So it looks like they've resecured ops. However, you can basically start beaming most of the rest of the Jem'Hadar around the station into like
space.
base or the brig, whatever you like.
It would be the break.
Yeah.
I might correct the coordinates. Oh, sorry. The first 100 of them.
I'll count one of those as a lethal attack if you like, though. So, because you will be killing people that will add to threat.
I really don't
Can
like
you beam-
Jem'Hadar.
Can you beam them into the brig upside down?
That would be fine. that would just embarrass them.
Just bring
Yeah,
them-
I'm actually an officer. I'm not just going to horribly murder people, but it goes through. That's
You are
That's like
Kardashian.
in my head. It's going to be. There's going to be that moment where you see it happen, and then it goes whoop, and it's just in my imagination. Like,
Right.
So that does mean that the water officer's dead as well, doesn't
No,
it?
shit
No,
was
Oh, no.
no, she was in a
captain.
force
They
field.
were
Oh,
both
she
in
in
force
force
fields.
fields,
yeah.
of course they were.
So
weren't they?
yeah, you didn't have to worry about playing them
we
anymore.
need to direct all of the tactical officers on the station to retake ops through secondary methods.
Oh, you think
Isn't
that
it
they
just a
bang?
turbo lift?
Cut power to ops. Get them to like hard cut the power feed into ops. The environment will fail.
Just imagine
They're
them
just sealed in there.
soaring through the big pillars. Ting.
No, like all the conduits that go up to ops. It's like a separate. It was like a fairly sort of established point.
Yeah, because
Surely there's like
basically
It's
Power
almost like a
feeds
little
up to them.
tower. Can I just
it's
shoot
like
it?
it's like if you think normal how you think Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
So now it's got 2 sort of Bajoran towers on the middle sections pointing in both directions.
Yeah.
And ops is the top of the one on top.
You guys,
Yeah, so
you
you got
guys
thing on
hold the
top, thing on
promenade,
the
can't
bottom.
you? Just send a load of them and just take it by force.
No, it's just like a bottleneck turbo
Yeah,
lift.
that's-
So,
Yeah,
Just
they-
wait outside,
get shot
secure
shit.
that turbo lift, get someone to manually cut the power to ops, and then they'll just suffocate. And then you
So
go
will
in,
the
they're all
Bajorans
on.
and
The people in the force field won't.
Yeah, the force fields,
Actually,
which are the only
they
people
won't.
alive.
Well, all right then, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll
What's
pass
that guy's
out.
name again?
They'll pass
Actually,
out.
no, they must
Oh,
be
no,
supported by the same
yeah.
life support.
Yeah.
I don't think they wouldn't necessarily go through the force field, but they must be being
Unless
supported.
they're over the vent.
They would be supported by the same life support. So
That's
if you
true.
manually cut that, I don't think
Yeah.
you could be specific.
But they'd only pass out. You know, and you'd better resuscitate them all. You'd focus on them first. Oh no, they're inside force fields,
I'm
aren't
going to offer them the opportunity to surrender first.
Well, you have to surrender your vessel. Remember?
The tactical situation has changed. We have retaken most of the space station. We have your devices.
Yes.
I'm offering you the chance to surrender. You will not be getting the ship.
So you've made a nice little... A bargain, a true oath. You're just entirely turning back on your word. You've lied to us. Your captain risked his life on basically a lie. Such is the Federation, the vaunted Federation.
You will not be getting back the ship.
I can't say I expected any better, but I just wanted to prove a point to some people.
To yourself. Sorry, Commander.
That's fine. I'll be taking my ride out of here, if that's all right. They should be here soon if they're not here already.
Are you talking about the 3 Jem'Hadar attack cruisers?
Yes, those ones.
Fighters. They're not... 3 cruisers would be fucked.
That would have cost 18 thread.
I don't have 18 threat.
It's been saving that.
That's why I had so much.
And that's fair. Yeah, no, that's cool. I like that.
Right, Outcatcher, tactically,
Yes.
what do we have a chance against these 3 fighters?
Oh yeah, probably.
We could take them.
Probably.
Or we could just let him go back to the Gamma Quadrant.
We are also
He's
in
gonna
control of
dissolve.
some of the station's weapon systems.
Yeah.
So as long as we engage them
then
around
so
the
see.
state... Yeah?
But we're out of
Is he?
weapons range.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll be on our own fighting these things.
I think let him fuck the fuck off. To be honest. He's going to dissolve.
If so, we'll wander on our merry different ways, and I'll spread the story of the lying Federation, the one that can't even hold to its oldest race's oldest traditions.
Isn't this the bit where you cut the comms and we go and talk for like 20 minutes in the, you know, what's
Ready
the...
room. Ready room.
Not the ready room. The other one. Observation lounge.
Or briefing room, depending on
Yeah, depending on which ship you're on.
All the
But
corridor.
Picard would always go, okay, Romulan guy, hang on a sec. Right, everyone in the other room. Right, what are we going to do? And they'd sit there for like 10 minutes.
Or if you're on the Defiant, the mess, because they had no other big room.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
How long do we have till these?
4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, it's going to have to be a brief meeting, but yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So it'd just be.
Well, I don't even know if he's conscious, and I don't know if I'm out of surgery.
You can be out of surgery, but yes, you've still got some stress, and you're still quite rough. But I assume you want to. It's an important meeting.
So I'll call a senior officers meeting.
The captain is alive.
Excellent.
Crane feels a bit raspy.
Crane, I knew you'd be able to
It's fine.
recover
Captain.
the captain.
I'm pleased you did.
It is satisfactory to see you again.
Thank you, Commander. I'm going to be able to pick up this.
Just pretend a little bit louder.
Okay. Raspy voice.
Yeah.
I'm speaking in a raspy voice.
Yes.
Have you not heard of the stage whisper?
There
It's
you go.
louder than talking normally.
There you go. Excellent. Excellent.
Well, I'm stage
Classically
crew.
trained.
I'm stage crew. I make no sound whatsoever.
Aha.
Of course, someone did their drama GCSE, didn't they?
I have no formal training.
We know. Anyway.
Right, we've got a 4-minute meeting.
Yeah, okay. So there are 3
I'll bring
Jem'Hadar
up
attack
a
fighters.
tactical display map on
Yeah.
the table so that you can get a quick update on what's going on.
Not to be outdone, I'll overlay a few sensor scans.
If I didn't have time to, unfortunately, prepare any flash holographics, but
But the captain's alive.
You've got.
I
red
don't know
on
what that blue.
You got blue on you.
It's kind of my uniform. It's fine.
That can be our thing.
I don't even know what that thing is, and I don't know how long he is for this world nor any other. I don't even begin to know how they've done it. But I don't think it's going to last.
I would like to say I'm only currently here in an observation capacity.
Because
As-
no way am I clearing him for duty.
As Commander Kren has deemed me unfit to command. Therefore, my initial orders of give them the ship are currently not valid because I'm not currently in command of the ship.
That's fun, but that's
Otherwise, I
Yes,
would of
I
course
believe-
be
I
honouring
believe-
that.
Of course, Captain. I believe our acting captain doesn't want to give them the ship anyway.
We're not giving them the
They
ship
won't be
anyway.
getting the ship.
That goes without saying. But it's whether, yes, we let them go or whether we try to fight them off. I
If we engage these 3 craft tactically, we do have a chance of beating them. I, for one,
There will be loss of life, though.
And
Further
the
loss of
Federation death toll today is already pretty horrendous.
life. Is there a way that we could let them go but track them? Because these people are gathering this Primus is getting more and more people flocking to his banner. They need to be countered in some way. Could we in some way agree to a truce, let them go, but midst beam out, we try something?
Yeah.
Given their stance that they have come here completely undetected and invaded a Federation space station, it's possible we should disable and capture those vessels.
But
I think they've used their shrouds and snuck in on board other vessels.
I mean, there were things like Ferengi tramp freighters and stuff like that knocking around. And as we have said, being Jem'Hadar isn't illegal.
Oh, there was one thing I did want to mention, actually. Actually, someone from the bridge. So we're transporting as many of the Jem'Hadar we can aboard, but a lot of their signals are just disappearing, even when they're not near fighting, and the bodies aren't there.
They're like beaming out.
We suspect a version of the veil that we can't quite read through. And they're still on the station.
Captured any?
Oh, yes, quite a few, sir. We've got at least 43 in the brig, sir, currently.
We have some prisoners to question then, sir.
Commander Zelvok, I suggest you have the security teams make a full sweep of this ship.
That is a very good point, Captain.
Our shields have been up, but yes, good point.
But if we beam them on board and then they shroud when they're on board and we can't detect them.
Actually, we beam them on board with no weapons and
into
straight
a
into the
containment.
into the brig and all that sort of jazz.
Yeah.
But if they have personal
Yes.
site-to-site transporters,
I don't think they're disappearing in the transportery type way. I think they're just...
And they still wouldn't be able to go through the force fields, and as you saw previously before, when they were briefly within force fields, they did just kind of go,
Yeah,
not
true.
just going to...
But we'll have patrols going around the ship just in case.
Yes, and I also think the devices that we saw, it wasn't that they had any particularly advanced technology that enabled them to get aboard. I think they just looked like sensor tech. And again, it's not illegal to be a Jem'Hadar carrying what looks like a sensor pack.
Yes. So it was all done. No explosives, no weapons,
It's subterfuge
shrouds,
rather than technology.
knives. Yeah, you know what I mean. No energy weapons.
I think that the full force of this assault needs to be stopped, so it is an example for any of that might.
I
follow.
agree with you. But I'm just saying there may be an opportunity to find where Primus's organisation is based and operating out of.
Then we need those ships intact. Navigational logs, sensors.
One of those ships intact.
So they're 30 seconds out.
I think let them go and tag them, but
We fight.
yes, sir.
I'm going to assume I'm first officer right now. Red alert!
Did you
And
say...
I'm going to step over the back of my chair as I go to the bridge.
So, yeah, which one is second officer?
We're both lieutenant commander, so I don't know.
Neither of us are.
Well, no, you will have a second officer, because that will be
Well,
written
but
down.
that's-
Well, I'm just
Yeah.
going to say I'm on the bridge more often.
Okay,
You know.
commission dates, go on.
Well, technically, she's like
Well,
far superior,
which
senior to
lifetime?
me.
Commission dates this lifetime.
He's the bridge officer, I'm not. It makes far more sense for him to be the second officer.
You would have discussion previously. Just
Yes.
Yeah. We have a little flashback.
Yes, he's the bridge officer. I'm
I
not the
probably
bridge
actually
officer.
said.
It makes far
I
more
probably actually
sense.
said at the time, Kren should be. Kren shows me the best of the Federation.
Which
so
one of
I would
you
assume
has
that
done
she's-
the Kobayashi Maria exam?
Oh, twice.
And we've both done our bridge exams, haven't we?
Everyone,
But you
because that's
definitely said you
Starfleet
had to,
Academy.
Yeah, and we've both done our bridge exams. I've definitely done my bridge
I
exams.
blew up the colony ship and ran away.
My console
Made it-
exploded and I died 30 seconds in.
2 rounds of combat and you were out.
I just switched to the other side. Kardashian.
I had to deal with the Klingons, tortured all the civilians, and it was a great time. Glass of Canara at the end. 100%.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Fantastic speciesism. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're going to fight.
Okay.
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week for Fighting Times.
I'll be in engineering because I'm not currently fit for duty, therefore not on the bridge.
You can
You're
divert
not
power
really
and
fit
stuff.
for engineering either, but I suspect you're not going to listen to me about that. But
I can sit on a chair and go boop.
Press buttons.
Right.
right,
Okay,
maybe
so
they
we will
prefer for casualties.
we will obviously finish there.
Wow.
Yeah, well done. You died.
With-
That's the first character death on the channel.
I mean, I was hoping to last like 3 or 4 rounds, you know?
But if you think about
You
it,
were
that
unfortunate with the
actually-
rolls there.
That actually went quite well.
Yeah, oh yeah, like it all worked. I like the way it worked out.
It all went according to plan.
You know, the thing in the thing. You're fucking glad we did that.
Like I said, I can't be captain without a crew.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Is that one of your values?
But I'm still.
No,
Oh, right.
Maybe it
Just
should
generally.
be.
but I don't win. I don't believe in a no-win scenario.
I don't believe it.
I like it.
Do you want to
We're-
Yeah,
Every problem has a solution.
it does. Yeah, cool.
I will die to prove it.
Excellent.
Sheets than this.
Sam, I just want to say I really like your t-shirt.
Thank you.
That's very cool.
It's got the little.
Yeah. You need to put a little G on there. Anyway, cool. Thank you very much for joining us on episode 5 of Star Trek Morpheus. That was a lot of fun. Watching Keith die was hilarious.
I didn't really look at your character because I thought that would be unfair. I just went, oh, he's got the ocean tour. He must be good at hand-to-hand fighting.
Yeah. Safe assumption with an Andorian captain who's been an engineer all his life.
Who took the ocean tour?
Yeah. Oh, do you not just get it standard? You
No, you
picked
do
it.
get it standard.
Oh, okay.
No, you picked
It's
that.
one of
I did?
4. It's like one of 3 you get to
Oh.
pick.
No, you could have picked any other one. At that stage of creation.
Oh,
You pick the species, then you pick a talent that you're currently is available to you. There are species ones on the page. As I said at the time, you could pick any that you're currently
You
qualified
probably
for.
went for a default Andorian one.
I think I did.
Eastern
Yes.
Tour. Cool. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. That was a lot of fun. And next time we're going to have some starship combat, which is cool because it looks like we've gone through sort of all the different phases of Star Trek Adventures. So we're giving the rules
Including
a good.
that.
Interesting, that.
Yeah,
Almost like it was
it's almost
planned.
like Adam's planned it all. Excellent stuff. Right, please don't forget to go and check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, MeWe, all our social medias. Sorry, it's plural already. Also, check out our Discord. We're having lots of fun conversations about role playing and more stuff. And also, please check out our Patreon. Sharing lots of cool things. There's more stuff to come. Maps, adventures, settings, background, history, videos. Pete's Playbook, the Patreon-only podcast. Lots of P's in there, which is the wrong letter to have as the alliteration on your microphones. But anyway.
Spider-Man would disagree.
Indeed. Please also go and check out the Thornless Rose, their amazing Kickstarter, which we have shared on our Facebook page and everywhere, is coming on the 10th of May. You can get yourself a nice D20 dice bag kit, which the other Sam has shown off as a constructed dice bag on our other shows. Please go and check out our other shows. We have the Dark of the Cage, which is our D&D 5th edition Planescape. We have On the Edge of the Emperor's Light, which is our Dark Heresy 40k role-playing game. And we also have Vostok's Chance, which is our Scion RPG 1998 mashup between The Running Man and American Gods, which is a great fun thing where they dress up as Power Rangers and reenact Die Hard when they climb into a building to not steal things, but to put things in. But anyway, lots of fun.
Just after the eugenics wars.
It was like 4 years, 3 or 4 years.
2 years. You
sort
said
of-
92 to 96. So.
Yeah, okay. 2 years after the eugenics war. Also, please help us in our quest to help Diabetes UK. It's a cause that's close to all of our hearts, and there is a link below for our Just Giving page. Also, 10% of our Patreon money goes to Diabetes UK every month from now on. So please support the channel, support our friends Thornless Rose, and support a good charity for diabetes. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. I think we all had a lot of fun today. And if you're watching when this comes out on Saturday, don't forget, live on YouTube tonight, I will be playing a game with 3 other channels in our Crossing the Streams Black Road So I Hander mashup. Anyway, we'll see you in 2 weeks for more Star Trek Morpheus.
Yeah.
Bye-bye!